Alright, I better be live, bro. I better be live. That's all I know. Okay, cool. Looks like we're back. Alright, let's get back into cooking real quick. I don't want to lose that momentum. I'm not losing that energy, guys. Someone educate Roa G. Roa, how you doing? This is Ab-Stract. This is the Ab-Stract section. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate you, Karibo, Rev, Shinigami. Let's get it. Ursa, I saw you in the chat too. We're going to go over... I have to respond to you too, Ursa. Okay, so... we covered the first two things. Durability and B's feat of throwing a pencil through a tree, which Kasami acknowledges would have put a hole through him, which we can use as a bare minimum to scale durability. All these things are consistent, by the way. So let's move on to something else. Let's go to here. Let's start with this. So Not Censored says, Kid Sasuke has more potency than B's durability, apparently. What a fucking dumbass take. Let's analyze this. Let's look at what he put. Sasuke bear calc. Cool. So this is a calc for Sasuke striking a bear. Right? Here he's using a regular human bear, like their proportions or whatever. So he gets the average bear mass, which is 453 kilograms. He gets the average bear length, which is 2.44 meters. He gets the average bear height, which is 2.44 meters, and the bear width and all this other stuff, right? And this is actually the bear that attacked Sasuke. Or, I'm sorry, this is the bear that Sasuke kicked, mind you. Cool. Now let's look at this calc that Not Censored sent and said that I can't scale with. He says, using the square cube law, we can find the amount that we need to multiply the bear's mass by. Mind you, this isn't his calc. This is a calc he linked to me. So using the square cube law, we can find the amount that we need to multiply the bear's mass by, is what he says. Because he's assuming that the bear is running and that Sasuke stopped the bear with a kick. So assuming a Kodiak bear's top speed is 15 meters per second, and I guess he emphasizes all this stuff to get to the bear that attacked Sasuke. So the final number he gets is 243 meters per second. And so finally we can get the kinetic energy of the bear at max speed. He gets the kinetic energy. I don't know this formula, so I don't really know if this is correct or not, because I don't know this formula and all this other stuff. But he gets the kinetic energy of the bear moving at that speed, something that big moving that speed. He gets that, right? It comes out to 12 tons. Comes out to 12 tons, which I think is around, what's 12 tons? Like town level, I think, or city block level, something like that. Oh yeah, I'm so nice at this shit. So yeah, the bear's kinetic energy comes out to around city block level, right? This is the calc that he linked me. Lock in, y'all. Now, it doesn't take a genius. It doesn't take a fucking wizard. So it doesn't take a genius or a fucking wizard. I looked up this calc, and I'm going to leave it up there. I looked up this calc for all of 2 minutes on their website just to see what the conversation about the calc was. So this is what I found after 2 minutes of researching the calc that he sent me. Oh, look. Naruto downgrade. Sasuke kicks a bear. I wonder what feat they're talking about. So, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. In Naruto chapter 482, it's shown in a flashback that Sasuke saves Karin from a huge bear by casually kicking it. Oh, look. This person actually showed the full panel. Very interesting. The last panel just shows Sasuke kicking the bear, and the bear was assumed to be moving at top speed, charging even. So, That's the panel. Then right after that, Sasuke kicks the fucking bear. Cool. So let's go to his breakdown. The feat was calced here, which is the one we just looked at, by Kepele 23 and accepted. But after coming back to it, the calc is invalid. In Kep's calc, it's assumed the bear was in motion. But if we look at the scans, that's not true. We can see the bear is right on Karin and has her cornered against the tree. It then roars at her and she falls. But see the distance between her and the bear? It hasn't changed, and there's no indication the bear charged before being knocked out. Thus, Kep's calc is invalid. All this took was about 2 minutes of going through their fucking website and looking for the feat itself. Does anyone see the bear more than, what? More than 20 meters away from her? No. So how then would you calc the bear's top speed at over 243 meters per second? The guy that sent me this calc said I can't scale. The guy that sent me this calc said my takes are dog shit. I don't know what the force is needed to knock out a bear or if this feat can even be calced, but I propose this feat be considered at least building level, simply based upon the bear's sheer size and the casualness of the kick until the feat can be recalced, if it can be recalced. So we're already dealing in a negative with this guy not censored. He sends me a feat that's already been debunked on their own website. Mind you guys, it says the feat was calced and accepted, meaning the people that accepted it didn't even fucking vet the calc, or else they would have known the bear wasn't charging it, therefore it couldn't have been at top speed. These are the people that we're dealing with on Versus Battle Wiki. Now, I will say it has gotten better over the year. It has gotten better over the years. At least some stuff has. I can't say everything. And mind you, this is from 2019. All right. Let's get into some more egregious shit. Hold on, let me go back actually. Okay. So so far we've debunked Kakashi not being nail level, Kakashi being consistently small building to wall level durability. We've debunked that notion, or we've debunked that he isn't, because he in fact is based on all prior feats, scaling, and showings. Yeah. Let's get into another argument real quick. Let's get into this. Why isn't the air on, bro? It's hot. Let's get into another argument. So I get asked, do you just not know how AP works? And no. Oh, that's right. What did I say? So this is still going off of the whole Kakashi nail thing, Kasame, thing, whatever, right? So yeah, I say let's use this feat as a reference. Killer Bee throws an enhanced pencil at Kasame, which Kasame confirms will put a hole through him, yada, yada, yada. He says, first of all, miss me with that. It's a high ball because I use a strong tree bullshit. Absence, I already read that, yeah. So I say, boy, oh boy, literally irrelevant. I was looking for something comparable to Payne's nail, and B's pencil is the closest thing. It pierced the tree and was stopped by basic dirt. Higher AP feats from weaker characters doesn't matter when they can all hurt each other, pretty much. When they can all pretty much hurt each other, right? So this guy, Davs, he says, do you just not know how AP works? And no, they can't all hurt each other pretty much. He says, looking back as early as OG Naruto, Sasuke could not physically harm a Sound 4 member without weapons. Pause. Looking back as early as OG Naruto, Sasuke could not physically harm a Sound 4 member without weapons. Why would he say without weapons? And I don't even agree to that premise. Sasuke could harm Sound 4 members. He did harm Sakon. Sakon took damage. Sakon wasn't hurt. There's a difference. Go look up the fight. Sakon does take damage from Sasuke. He is not hurt by Sasuke. These two things are not the same. So here's the thing, guys. You can catch the stupidity if you just look close enough. If you just look close enough to find it. He says, no, they can't all hurt each other pretty much. He then says, Sasuke could not physically harm a Sound 4 member without a weapon. A very low discrepancy of tuning to low jonin. So to say they can all hurt each other pretty much across all ranks is another bold-faced lie of yours. He then says, speaking of weapons, you seem not to understand how piercing and slashing works. For piercing and slashing attacks, a lower amount of force is required to bypass certain durability. The fact you ran to piercing attacks to scale durability is very telling of your dishonesty. And even then, it doesn't work. For the piercing attack in question, we have no way to gauge the force behind it. All we know is that the person control it can yield an output over large town levels of energy. He's talking about pain. So to rebut his claim of everyone can't hurt everyone, I say Haku and Zabuza could hurt everyone they could 2 years ago. Facts. They could hurt Kakashi, they could hurt Guy, they could hurt random people. They could hurt everyone they could 2 years ago. Shikamaru can hurt Hidan and Kakuza. Facts. Asuma can hurt Kasame. Facts. The Sound 4 can hurt Jonin. Facts. And Genin can hurt the Sound 4. More facts. Lee can hurt Gaara. Facts. Gaara can hurt Kimimaro. Facts. Kabuto can hit Tsunade. I think I covered every tier of interaction to where people can hurt. I think I covered every tier. He says, just shut the fuck up. Haku and Zabuza were top tier ninjas. If you've never seen Cope, I present it to you. Haku and Zabuza were top tier ninjas. I'll let Haku slide. Zabuza was a top tier. So if Zabuza's a top tier ninja, what does that make like Raikage, Minato, Itachi, with the first? What does that make these guys? Are they all in the same class? Now let's go to the funny part. Without weapons, like I said, they can all pretty much hurt each other. He says, I swear you might be dumb. Naruto is just more realistic than other series. Metal is more dense than human flesh. Hence, it would require little force on the end of a sharpened metal to break it. Density is the key factor here, not force. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. Because no matter how dense something is, if there's no force behind it, unless you're running into the damn thing yourself, which would also be force, nothing's going to happen. So he doesn't actually understand how piercing and slashing works. You need force behind these things. Density is not the issue here. It's force. So Davs explains they can all hurt each other with weapons. Ab-Stract says, so they can all hurt each other. Davs, no, you're dumb. Is that not what just happened in this exchange between ours? Let's run it back in case you missed it. His first claim is that Sasuke couldn't hurt anyone in the Sound 4 without weapons. He then goes on to justify why weapons can hurt people. Oh, weapons durability, density. Right. So my claim of everyone can hurt everyone is backed up by your claim of everyone can hurt everyone with weapons. So when I say they can all hurt each other, your response is, no, you're dumb. Like, the type of stupidity that I run into has to be documented. It really does. It really does. Ignores all the points about density. Define durability for me, please. So I generally say the ability to withstand force or pressure. He says, good. Now, this was an interesting question because he actually words it kind of wrong. We're going to get to the chat in just a second. He says, good. Material A has a durability value. I'm sorry. Material A has X durability. So material A has an unknown durability. Able to withstand force or pressure up to Y value. So an unknown durability of material A can withstand force or pressure up to Y. However, pressure lower than Y value can affect material A if applied in certain unconventional ways. Does this phenomenon call to question the durability of value of material A being X? After mulling that over, because he did in fact word this incorrectly, because he brought out X when X was the unknown value of the thing, but X is another variable within the equation aside from being the unknown value. So yeah, I think this was kind of said wrong, but I get the gist. Using an unconventional way, Y value could do more damage with less total energy than needed for material A. He doesn't respond to this, so I'm just going to assume I was correct on it. He doesn't respond to that. So that covers durability, the diva path. That covers speed. No, we still got to get into speed. That covers the Sasuke has better feats than Killer Bee. Because, and mind you, the guy that said Sasuke kicking the bear, he was saying that Sasuke had to kick with the same total energy of the bear to stop the bear. Dumbest shit I ever heard. But then again, what can I expect from people who don't understand how to derive AP? Now let's go to the most egregious thing throughout this entire exchange between me and Davs. Let's go to the most egregious thing. But before that, let's check the chat. Alright. Why would Shinobi use wood style to substitute themselves from point A to point B in order to evade a kunai or shuriken? Yeah, and that's another thing. The substitution jutsu is a really retarded jutsu. Like, why use the body flicker to replace something with something else instead of just using that same speed to attack the person? Because mind you, if you're using substitution jutsu, what you're essentially doing is blitzing the person, or their perception speed at the very least. So the jutsu is really stupid, busted, broken, and it doesn't really make much sense. This means a tree trunk is strong enough to stop kunai and shuriken, which we see all the time. I think Roa is class clown for this. Hey, Shio Shinigami, he's new here. All right, give him a chance. You don't know how strong fictional trees in Naruto are. So here's the thing, Roa. We don't need to know how strong fictional trees are. Well, actually, here's the thing. It's funny that you say that. What I would normally tell you is axiomatically, being an axiom is, a basic belief, something we would take as true on the basis of it that it's true, so we could move the conversation forward. That's what an axiom is. So axiomatically, unless shown otherwise, or unless demonstrated otherwise, a tree that is, we would take it as a normal tree. There's no productive conversation to be had if we're not taking the things in fiction and basing them off of our real world equivalents until shown otherwise. There's literally no production to be had, because you're right. The tree could be a universe, and the whole Naruto planet could be a fucking... No, I'm sorry. The tree could be a planet. The tree could be a planet, and the whole Naruto universe could just be a galaxy. Like, the entire planet could just be the galaxy. But we wouldn't say that, because we understand that it's based off of our world, And we can really only gather any information from fiction based off of our world and how things work in our world. So we do know the tree is a regular tree. Yeah. This means they can't take the attacks and they would get hurt, proving they're less durable than trees, says Rev. Kai says, so you're saying we gotta scale feetless trees now. Kid Sasuke is not hurting Killer Bee. I agree, Karibo. Kid Sasuke is not hurting Killer Bee. But your mans used a fake... I don't even want to say your mans. Your Naruto brethren used a debunked scan or a debunked calc on the website that he tried to get me to look at. We've seen Itachi and Sasuke, same Shinobi you brought up, practicing their kunai and shuriken techniques in the forest. And those things never once split a tree. Yeah, no, never once has anyone split a tree with a weapon. Only person who split anything noticeable, split. No one's actually split anything with a weapon. Right? Asuma pierced the tree. Kasame, Asuma pierced the tree, hit a boulder. Killer Bees pierced the tree. No one's ever split a tree. No one's had that type of damage. I'm live. Right, where are we? Mass times acceleration. Naruto tanked the 10 tails in base. Naruto tanked the 10 tails in base. What? Okay, I don't... The Cataclysm. Oh my god. So, the Cataclysm is another technique. Or the Cataclysm is another thing that has high DC AoE and terrible AP, which is why they all tanked it with basic cloaks. Why do we calc a tree that has no showcases? Statements or lore showing that this specific tree is harder than X material. I don't actually think they're still level. Just saying you can use the same logic for the big three. I mean, you can't. You can't. Let's take Grimmy's thing as an actuality, right? At best, it would be an outlier. Because we've seen Gin with the volume and AoE of his Zanpakuto slice up the whole town. And the whole town, mind you, he sliced up pretty much all of Karakura town. Or the fake Karakura town. And the overall density of all those things would be beyond steel. And he went through all of them. That's just one example. In the roaring panel, the lines show that the bear is in motion. That debunk is suspect. So, Karibo, the bear... So, let's give it to you. Let's say the bear did actually lunge. Would the bear be lunging at 243 miles per hour, which he count as the top speed of the bear? What's faster, Karibo? A lunge from a all fours sitting position, or a bear running at you top speed is what the calc was based on. He said, here he goes with the AC. Okay. Roy G, you do realize that Aizen sat inside a black hole singularity and survived, that the diamond devil fruit exists. The blute could withstand the heat from the sun. Can we argue still level? Exactly. Sav 3, Sop. What's up? Okay, hey guys, real quick. I need you guys to stop all side conversations as we look through this last thing, and then we're either going to watch a video or do something else. But guys, lock in for this. Karibo, I need you to lock in for this. Rev, Kai, Shinigami, Roa, Sav, I need you guys to lock in for this. Other 5+ random people that are in here, I need you guys to lock in for this. So, Dav says, even without attempting to scale off body flicker techniques, there are reaction feats in Naruto that easily surpass lightning speed. For example, a fatigued pain in Naruto clone could react to the Rasen-Shuriken at point blank. Same Rasen-Shuriken that this is. Cool. Let's look it over. So, it says the Rasen-Shuriken is moving across the crater within the 1 second time frame that he had left on his Shinra Tensei cooldown. The crater was sized in the Chibaku Tensei calc I did, which gives us a time frame of this much, or 104,873 meters per second. And then he says, and this wouldn't be calc stacking given that he does this feat within the same time frame and during the same attack. We're just moving backwards for this. Cool. Lock in, everybody. I want you guys to see the stupidity that comes with engaging with Naruto fans on Twitter. I need you guys to see this. I need you guys to see the shit. Cool. So we should red flags should already be going off in your head. Red flag should already be going off in your head. But let's look at it. Cool. So this is the image he's referencing. This is the image Pain dodges. Cool. This is what he's this is the feat. Massively hypersonic. Mach 2,383. Cool. Let's lock in. Cool. So, being that Being that I do this myself, being that I am a power scaler, I see someone has linked a calc, or at least posted scans of a calc. I ask, okay, can you link the calc? Mind you, he says, I say link the calc. He says, nigga, please, like you're interested in actually looking at it. You said you'll look into it before, then went straight to scaling speedy attack to bullet. Then I say, or don't. He says, I won't. You can do the calc yourself. You had no problem doing others. Sure. So it's really weird. He presents the calc, wants me to use it for Mach 1000, apparently. But then when I ask for the link to the calc, he doesn't want to link me to calc. That's number one. Cool. Let's analyze what's actually going on in this feat, though. What is this? Okay. Let's analyze what's actually going on in this feat. Thankfully for us, I already have it pulled up because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So, he already mastered Nine Tails. Cool. This is when Naruto's getting out of the Shippaku Tensei. So let's look at this, guys. We see Naruto and Pain are roughly 20 meters apart. Maybe even like 15 to 20 meters apart. This is both of them, by the way. Red flags should already be going off in your head. Cool. So, Pain rushes Naruto. They engage in hand-to-hand combat. He kicks Pain, hits a wall. Nice. Stabs himself, finds out where Nagato is. Found him. Art of the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He makes a Rasengan. He throws a smoke bomb. Here comes the first, under the cover of smoke. I'm not falling for that again. Red flags should already be going off in your mind. Let's read the calc again, though. Just in case red flags aren't going off in your mind already. Let's just read that calc again. He said, the Rasen-Shuriken is moving across the crater. So, in his mind, Naruto threw a Rasen-Shuriken across the crater. This is the crater. This is the pixel scale or calc. Naruto threw the Rasen-Shuriken across the crater. The crater was sized in the Shippaku Tensei calc. Let's keep going. We see the smoke bomb and we see the Rasen-Shuriken. We see the smoke bomb. We see a Rasen-Shuriken. Pain Almighty pushes the first one, and here's a second one. The window is 5 seconds. I can do this. What? The first was a Shadow Shuriken. Let me ask you guys something. Does anyone believe that Naruto is a full crater's distance away? Does anyone believe that Naruto, do you guys think Naruto kicked, when he kicked Pain, did he kick him a full crater's distance away? And that's where the Rasen-Shuriken is being thrown from? I'm genuinely confused. These are the type of people you talk to on Twitter. I see why he didn't want to link the calc, because that shit is terrible. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Pain Almighty pushes the first one. Let's go. All right. He Almighty pushes the first one. 5 seconds until Tendo can launch his next jutsu. What? The first was a Shadow Shuriken. We get a better shot of where the Rasen-Shuriken was launched. Not even 200 meters a fucking way. But the calc... Hold up. The calc wants to claim the Rasen-Shuriken is moving across the crater. The whole crater? Like, what part of the crater? The crater within the 1 second time frame that he believes, and this is why, as good as Versus Battle Wiki is, you have some dumb motherfuckers over there. Mind you, the person that did the bare feet had his calc accepted. Then someone else looked at it and said, hey, the bear's not moving. I guarantee you, someone calced, and I don't know if this is VSB. I don't know if this is VSB, so I don't want to put that on them. I will not put that on VSB because he didn't link me to calc, so I don't know who did this calc. But now you have someone saying the Rasen-Shuriken is moving across the crater within 1 second. Then you have Ab-Stract fucking saying, across the crater. Interesting. Is across the crater? Barely 100 meters, Rev. Barely 100 meters. So let's keep going. So Pain sees it coming. Has all day to react to it. Mind you. And we can almost get a time for this shit too. So yeah, 4 seconds until the next jutsu launch. Unbelievable. He'd already prepared and hidden those shadow doppelgangers. So within the time that Pain pushed this first one, 5 seconds until Tendo can launch his next jutsu. Within the time that all happened, it took Naruto, his clones, to jump at Pain, and Pain to react to them and stab them and dodge it. Only 1 second has passed since then. 4 seconds until the next launch of jutsu. So that was all about 2 seconds from this distance. As far as him, and you have to do it after he pushes. Because here's what probably happened. Naruto threw the first one, right? And then, as Pain was about to start his push, he probably threw the second one, which is why Pain was surprised the second one was even there. Because if he saw both of them, he would have did a bigger push to block them both. But he only saw one of them, which means that Naruto probably threw the second one a little right after Pain started to push the first one, hence why it's right in his face. So 5 seconds until Tendo can launch his next attack. So it takes a whole second for this thing to cover. And we could probably find the goddamn speed of this thing. We probably could actually find the true speed of this. I'm not going to do it right now. I just kind of wanted to disprove that this calc is even remotely usable. And mind you guys, I asked for the link for the calc, and he said no. I'm not giving you the link. No. You're just going to downplay Naruto. No. That shit is good. So, this is sad. This is sad because the person using this calc, aka Davs, he goes out his way not only to not link it, but he didn't even do his own due diligence on it. He probably just Googled something, found it, and posted it. As if I wasn't going to go look up the fucking feet myself. So yeah, nowhere near a Mach 1000 feet. Didn't cover near anywhere the distance that this person is talking about. I don't know where he even got that. You'd have to be intentionally trying to lie to people to get this to be a Mach 1000 feet. You'd have to be. The crater was sized in the Chibaku Tensei calc. So, like, you can't even lie to people. I'm not going to lie. You actually have to be stupid. If you believe Naruto is throwing a Rasen-Shuriken from this side of the village to over that side of the destroyed village, you're retarded. Not taking it back, not changing my vocabulary, not changing anything. You are retarded. All right. Let's catch up on the chat. Locking in. Hey, what's good, Ursa? How you doing? Bears are slow to attack. By the way, did you ever watch the video of Key scaling and disrespecting the biblical God? I have not watched that video. That one actually sounds like a fun video or a funny video. I don't want to watch that video as Christian would offend me. Yeah, actually, yeah, we probably won't watch that anyway. Always thought that the calc was weird. Pretty much called him fodder, bruh. By the way, the 10,000 Cataclysm is calced at multi-continental. It can be calced at multi-continental total energy. It can be multi-continental total energy, sure. I don't think you know how AP works, Roa. Bleach scalar, throw around conceptual way too casually. Bare minimum, Jesus walked on the earth. That automatically scales him beyond all fiction by default. That's hilarious. One hell of a body flicker. Naruto travels no distance, bro. The Rasen-Shuriken is pretty fast. Laugh my ass off. This calc is killing me. This is terrible. No. Hell no, he's not that far away. I give it 2 meters. Best I can do, I give it. I see it on the manga panel. Even the anime doesn't support that. That's pretty far. Barely 100 meters. I could cross that shit 13 seconds at worst. Bro, my 100 meter dash in high school was like 9.5 or something like that. It was like 8. It was like 8. No. It was like 8.96 or something like that. It was, yeah. We're crossing that in definitely less than 100 meters. I'm sorry, in 10 seconds. They're likely going by the rumble displayed. They're likely going by I think you mean rubble, Karibo. Let me just assume you meant rubble. Where are you talking about? Are you talking about like right here? 4 seconds to are you talking about this? Because this isn't an accurate panel to use. If we're talking about this, well, first I'll say I don't know why we would be talking about that. Where's the other panel? I have no idea why we would be talking about that when this panel exists. You know, the shot that the Rasen-Shuriken actually came from. Why would we be talking about anything other than this panel right here? Like, this is the after destruction. And this isn't even the same. This isn't even the Leaf Village. Mind you, let's go back. 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 My fault. Not the Leaf. Well, no, I do mean the Leaf Village, but let's go back. Lifts it up. Cool, cool, cool. The village is over that way. So he's not even using the same fucking panels. The village is over that way. This clown, thinks this scan right here and the scan up here are the same thing. He has to. Only explanation. Because as the Toad just said, they're not in the fucking village. I really, really like. I don't know why I waste my time. I'm going. You know what? Self-imposed restriction. If I start getting into it with Twitter people, bro, I need a consequence for myself. I really need a consequence for myself. Because there's no reason I should be having these conversations with people who don't even do their own due diligence on scans or calcs they want to show me. If I have to do all the work, there's no point in talking to you. I might as well talk to my goddamn self at that point. So yeah, he thought that that was the village and that's why he used the calc. But he can't read, which actually makes sense. And when people say Naruto fans don't read their own series, this is exactly what the fuck they mean. The village is over that way. You can even see, you can almost even see the depth. You see how it's smoke? Unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. Not only do you use a disingenuous panel, you don't even know what you're doing, bro. Your panel's wrong, your calc is wrong, your time frame is wrong, your distance is wrong, your speed is wrong. Everything about that feat is terrible. And he wanted to tell me boldly, Naruto has an over Mach 1000 reaction speed. Shut the fuck up, bro. He posted out with confidence. Why would you only cap Kakashi at Mach 50 when he has an over Mach 1000 reaction speed? Can you link the calc? No. Okay. Cool. I'll just read the manga and disprove you that way. I'll just read the manga and disprove you that way. It is VSB? That's terrible. Naruto has instant transmission confirmed. LOL. Isn't that an anti-feat? Yup. Ruining the pain victim. Very bad feat. I mean, technically, all I gotta do is rip the Naruto manga panels to kill pain. Exactly. All you gotta do is erase pain, and then you beat him. Literally. Just draw over him, and you beat him. Also, Karibo, who throws around conceptual casually for Bleach? It's only for Ichibe and anybody who scales to Reo. They can't argue distance either because Naruto isn't traveling far. And no feeds get pain to lightning speed except through scaling to Itachi, which is circular logic. Thank you, Ursa. Thank you, Ursa. I'm not even going to say this is all bad because I don't care. I don't care. It's wrong. I care more about if something is right and accurate, whether or not it's good or bad. This is wrong. This is all wrong. All of it. Same with the bare feet. All of it. One smart, what's good? Hey, what's good, Grid? How you doing, bro? They gave it to Yamamoto, Toshido, Rukia, and more for no reason. Since when for Yamamoto and Rukia? But Toshido honestly wouldn't have an issue. Yeah, Toshido is actually debatable. If Pain can give me a small paper cut on my pinky toe, I will have him top 1 in fiction. Facts. That sounds good talking to yourself. I do it all the time, LO. Same Shinigami on some Shinobu Sensei type shit. Chancellor Pure Cell. What Q&A is this? We're reviewing a calc right now. Q&A later. Ab-Stract really said, like that comment, that ratio, the I'm in the thick of it song. Oh. Yeah. So the beginning of the stream was addressing some issues people had with the Kakashi versus Toshido video. I've completely dispelled them all down to the durability, to why we shouldn't use lightning. Well, we didn't really touch on that because I really covered that entirely in the video. Durability, ninja being able to hurt each other, and now the worst one of them yet. The worst one of them yet is this disingenuous pain feat. This is probably the worst shit I've ever seen. This is probably the worst shit I've ever seen as far as the Naruto calc is concerned. This is bad. Before, like, I want to know, am I tripping, Karibo? Karibo, am I tripping? Do I have a right to be upset that Davs would show me this calc and then not do his due diligence on his own calc and then say it's Mach 1000? but then find out they're not even more than 200 meters away. Yet the calc wants to claim they're a whole. Why does it always do this? Where we at? Yeah. The calc wants to claim they're a whole crater's distance. Not just any crater. The crater that this made. The crater that this made. Ab-Stract, read some comments on the video. Oh, we're going to do that. We're going to have an entire breakdown of that video. Probably, maybe this week. We'll see how tomorrow goes for work for me. Maybe tomorrow, maybe this week. I'm going to save that, Rev. I'm going to save that. So yeah, I've addressed all the Twitter stuff. I think that should be everything. Let me see if I bookmarked anything else to talk about. Kid Sasuke went over it. Pain Feet went over it. Do you know how do I know how he asked me, do I know how AP works, but he wants to send bad calcs and shit. Get the fuck out of here. Unbelievable. So yeah, that should be everything. That's right. I was tagged in something about Luffy and them. It's the same vein as people calling Soul Society Uryu Lightspeed, so you can't be too upset. The calc is probably from 2004 or something. So here's the thing. One wrong or two wrongs don't make a right is the saying, right? Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right. Karibo. When I'm asking you, am I tripping? When I'm asking you, do I have a right to be upset? When I'm asking you, is this valid in your opinion? I don't want you to point to Bleach and say, oh, look, there's bad things over here at Bleach too. I don't want you to do that. I want you to either validate or invalidate what I'm saying because you are a Naruto fan yourself. Mind you, we're all Naruto fans. I know the series better than 90% of these fucking people. We're all Naruto fans. I want you to be an impartial judge of the calc and tell me if you would use that calc and say it's over Mach 1000 based on it traveling the entire crater's distance. I want you to tell me that. I don't need you to point to Bleach and say, oh, look, Uryu dodged his shadow and they're saying that's light speed. I know it exists. You've never seen me use it. There's no reason to point it out. Right? All right, so now let's get into some things I have to address from people that have talked to me throughout the week that I could not talk back to. Kuribo says, I wouldn't use it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, where is it? I know Ursa sent me something on somewhere. I don't know if it was general or somewhere else, though. Okay, she did. So Ursa sends this to Ab-Stract. And I'm pretty sure I addressed it live on screen, but I don't mind doing it again. Ursa says, ninja techniques, also known as using chakra, can temper the body. This, plus the logic of physical amplification necessitating amplifying durability, is founded in the story. It's just ambiguous. And that results in us not knowing when characters are using chakra to amp anything, not just durability. This statement is akin to statements in Star Wars about how the Force grants normal human superhuman abilities if channeled, that is. It's not passive, and it depends on how the user responds to things. I think it's reasonable to believe normal use of chakra can amp durability, but there's only the information of it over, but there's only the limitation of it over a long period of the story. Oh, wait, I read that all wrong. But there's only the intimation of it over a long period of the story, and no explicit demonstration besides the Raikage, whose chakra cloak is the closest to normal chakra amping physicals. Ursa even goes a step further and says it's explicit that chakra distribution throughout the body occurs, which means that full body augmentation is a rarity for ninja who aren't Hyuga. Ursa is smarter than 95% of people that watch Naruto. That comment right there alone lets me know she knows what the fuck she's talking about. If you're ever going to argue chakra enhancing durability and you don't know that it's hard for ninja to circulate, it's hard for ninja to expel chakra from all points of their chakra points at all times. If you don't know that, you're already a step behind. It's explicit that chakra distribution throughout the body occurs, which means that full body augmentation is a rarity for ninja who aren't Hyuga. True. Since most ninja up to Jonin level can't release chakra from all over their bodies. True. There's Neji using the rotation to block offense, but no one else outside of Neji and the Raikage has used basic chakra to block offense. It's possible, just not plausible for all ninja. It's basically clear that Naruto characters use their energy in short bursts mostly, as opposed to full body releases like Nen Curse Energy or Rayatsu cloaking the body. Very well said. Very well said. Now, I have two responses to this. I have a response to where, like, I could more debate or challenge the claims or challenge your positions. Or I have a response, or I should say end, because I'll kind of go through them both. And I have a response that is charitable. So let's kind of break this down one by one, and I'll kind of switch between both as we're talking about each point. She says, ninja techniques, also known as using chakra, can temper the body. Let's read the scan. Ninja techniques. The unique ability that makes a ninja worthy of that name. The techniques. Ninja techniques can temper the body, refine your wisdom, and train the mind only after you master them. So, these are the techniques. I've read this before. I'll read it again. Why not? A technique inherited only by those who have a blood relationship that transmits the blood itself and a unique physical ability thanks to its genes. That's the Kekkei Genkai. Inheriting a technique thanks to the Kekkei Genkai can be possible not due to training or oral tradition, but due to the affinity that are the genes themselves. Moreover, it's not always true that the Kekkei Genkai is equally inherited by everyone, even if they have inherited the same blood. That's a ninja technique. Techniques that restrain the target's movements and their chakra by means of seal. These are curse seal techniques and sealing techniques. Then, the techniques that are transmitted by blood relatives or in some limited areas, these are secret techniques. Both ways of transmission are strict, and many times they take the form of an inheritance that is seldom lent or shown by means of oral tradition. They're all top secret techniques. Ninja techniques are the most popular, and one can master them by undergoing various kinds of training. The techniques are classified into 3 types according to the conditions of activation and their efficacy. Efficacy, or to be efficacious, is the ability to produce a desired result, just in case anyone didn't know. They are ninjutsu, taijutsu, and genjutsu. These techniques, which come in a great variety, have various degrees of difficulty that one masters according to their level. However, ninjas can basically understand them as long as they have an affinity for these techniques. So very non-specific. I'm sorry. It was very specific in what techniques are. Very non-specific in the tempering. So let's analyze that. Let's read it again. Ninja techniques can temper the body. Cool. So when we're saying temper, what do we mean? We mean to make it stronger, more sturdy, more durable, right? How do you get your body more durable? One answer is training in taijutsu, like what Lee does. And taijutsu is a ninja technique that tempers the body. This is a fact. I'm not playing games. I'm not using semantics. I'm not being facetious at all. I'm taking what was said and literally applying it. Here's the thing. Training for Rasengan can temper your body. What's that other thing called? Learning a new jutsu can temper your body. If we are to take temper as making stronger, sturdier, our bodies get tempered when they go under stress, pressure, force, and get stronger. Right? So that's the first thing. Let's address... Oh, what the heck did I do? Okay. Let's address the second half. So necessitating techniques, also known as using chakra, can temper the body. This, plus the logic of physical implication necessitating amplifying durability, is founded in the story. It's just ambiguous. So this is something I tackle in my Naruto The Secret Durability video. I believe, and I want to say evidence would show, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But I believe that an increase in AP does not necessitate an increase in durability. That's what I believe. At least for people. I had each thing is case by case. I would argue that for people, I'd want to see it. She then says, she says, is founded in the story. It's just ambiguous. And that results in us not knowing when characters are using chakra to amp anything, not just durability. So then my charitable side switches over and says, okay, cool. If it is the case that an increase in AP would equal an increase in durability, and it's just that it's ambiguous. It happens, it's just ambiguous. Okay. Then I would say to myself, at that point, are we applying it arbitrarily? Or do we just want to say it can happen for the sake of saying it can happen? If it's arbitrary, and we don't know exactly when durability is being used to temper the body, is it worth saying anyway? Is it worth going through all the trouble in figuring out if someone's using chakra to amp their durability, if it's already ambiguous? Is it worth the trouble? That's my charitable side. She says, and that results in us not knowing when characters are using chakra to amp anything. Again, if we don't know when people are using chakra to amp speed, so we know when people use it, we can generally tell when people are using chakra to amp strength, just based on the fact that most striking feats aren't done by anyone who's not amping their body with strength. I'm sorry, amping their strikes with chakra. So we can pretty much deduce that one. We can even do it for speed. I'm not even mad giving it to speed. Again, being charitable. Obviously, we don't know how fast these people are. We know for sure they're not using body flicker everywhere. But you can use chakra to increase their speed. No problems with that. This statement is akin to statements in Star Wars about how the Force grants normal humans superhuman abilities if channeled. That is, it's not passive and it depends on how the user responds to them. Yeah, as much as I know about Star Wars, I'm a feats guy, man. you already know, I want feats for these things. If there's a claim being made about a Star Wars character, I would want feats and scaling to back that claim up. I think it's reasonable to believe normal use of chakra can amp durability. So when you say normal use of chakra, Ursa, do you mean people simply enacting a jutsu? People simply molding chakra? Or do you mean someone deliberately using chakra for a means, i.e. to increase durability? But there's only the limitation. Oh, my fault. I keep reading it wrong. But there's only the intimation of it over a long period of time, or over a period of the story. And no explicit demonstration besides the Raikage, whose chakra cloak is the closest normal chakra amping physicals. Correct. Correct. It's explicit that chakra distribution throughout the body occurs, which means that full body augmentation is a rarity for ninja who aren't Hyuga. So yeah, chakra distribution I agree with. Chakra expulsion, or whatever, however you want to call it, yeah. It's explicit that chakra distribution throughout the body occurs, which means that full body augmentation is a rarity for ninja who aren't Hyuga. Correct. Since most ninja up to Jonin level can't release chakra from all over their bodies. Correct. There's Neji using the rotation to block offense, but no one else outside of Neji and the Raikage has used basic chakra to block offense. Correct. It's possible, just not plausible for all ninja. It's basically clear that Naruto characters use their energy in short bursts mostly, as opposed to full body releases like Nen, Cursed Energy, Reiatsu, or Cloaking the Body. Yeah. I do like this. It's kind of just... So, let's go to... what did you say? Yeah, so you say it's possible, just not plausible for all ninja. The question kind of goes back to me being charitable. Okay, so what then am I supposed to do with that? I really don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. Mind you, I'm looking for something tangible. Because tempering the body is very general. You literally temper your body by working out and doing push-ups. Lee tempers his body every day when he kicks that damn tree. He gets it stronger. He gets it more sturdy by doing that. That's a ninja technique, which is taijutsu. So it's hard to actually decide on like how to take this, because this was broken down very nicely, and I get it. I understand. Let me read the chat. Chakra is being substituted for technique or jutsu. Yes, and taijutsu is a part of the jutsu category. Anyone read the Boruto chapter today? What's your rating out of 10? No spoilers. Yeah, definitely no spoilers, please. I'm waiting for that. He's the reason Madara ended up attacking the village. Not saying Madara is responsible for what he did, though. I think it's a solid 6 out of 10. One of the best Boruto chapters yet. Ooh, nice. Oh, what's good, Mugetsu? I haven't even seen you yet, bro. That was the starting point. I meant improve the hardness and elasticity of by reheating and then cooling it. You're fair. Meditating and physical training also improves chakra control and capacity. Not capacity, just control. Only Senjutsu can increase chakra capacity, in Naruto at least. I watched that video, by the way. Most of it, anyway, LOL. I think the best Boruto chapter of all time was the one when Boruto and crew beat Momoshiki. Solid 6.4 out of 10. If anyone thinks that's low, I'm very stingy with my chapter ratings. Yo, Rev, will you be able to send the questions when Gonna sleep. Yeah, it's arbitrary if and when it can happen. Okay. Soon. Wait, is Ursa Uriel? Yes, Ursa is Uriel. Only to be as accurate as possible. Yes, I am Uriel. His videos are so chaotic and sometimes just bad, so I tend to not watch him unless I find the topics interesting. Whose videos? I mean, someone using Chakra for a means. Okay. So you met... Okay, so then the question becomes, Ursa. When do we appropriately determine someone is using Chakra for that means? When do we do that? When do we make that jump, that connection, that switch? Do we assume just because Sakura has good Chakra control, she's now automatically doing that with all attacks, and that any attack that pierces her has to go through her Chakra defense first? The manga chapters I give 10 out of 10 are very rare. There's currently only 4 manga chapters I rate perfect 10 out of 10. Fire Punch chapter 49, Elfen Lied chapter 106, Berserk chapters 46 and 7. Durability being amped by consequence of amping striking strength. Lee does this when he uses the gates. Durability being amped by consequence of amping striking strength. Lee does this when he uses the gates. Okay. Lee does this when he uses the gates. We can look it up. We can go to it, and you can tell me the exact moment you're talking about. Off the top of my head, nothing really comes up for Lee in durability when using the gates. If anything, he's being crushed by his own power at that point, but it's okay. We can look it up. I do not mind. Where are we at? Proud failure. Oh, a little further back. Neji and Hinata, Gar versus Lee. All right, let's see. You finish, this will end it. Yada, yada, yada. The extreme lotus is one technique that shouldn't be taught. Da, 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 da. Guy, how many of the 8 celestial gates can that kid open? 5 gates. This isn't about hard work. That kid, he's a genius. It's the limit removal that is done in preparation for going into the extreme lotus. Limit removal. Yes. And the inner coils of the body that chakra flows through are 8 spots. The initial gate, yada, yada, yada. These are known as the 8 gates. These 8 gates are constantly working to limit the amount of chakra that flows in the body. The lotus forcibly releases these restraints using chakra. It allows you to release tens of times more power than usual, even as the user's body destroys itself. So I don't know if Lee can at the same time be getting more durable while his body is in fact destroying itself. Maybe it's possible. Once again, I would like a feat for it. If someone was using the 8 gates and actually had a durability feat of no-selling something or tanking something that would normally hurt them or another Naruto character, then we could use it, but I don't know about this. Let's keep going. For example, the initial lotus is done by opening just the first gate. Okay, so Lee already has 1 gate open. And I don't know if he's gotten more durable. But it's okay. Let's keep going. You release the brain's restraints with the initial gate. Then with the heal gate, you forcibly raise your stamina. Then from opening the third, the life gate, you enter into the extreme lotus. No way. Even the initial Lotus damages his body so much. Ursa, what we doing? Yes, the technique is truly a double-edged sword. Opening all the gates is called the state of 8 celestial gates. Alright, cool. Let's just get into it. The third life gate open. He's opened the life gate. Here he goes. And the fourth gate. And the fourth harm gate open. What a guy. Above us, but I can't see that Lee guy where. The sand isn't keeping up at all. What, the armor sand is being ripped off? Still with the sand armor. Okay. His muscles just snapped anymore, and this is Lee. Since when did he? Opens the fifth gate. I can't protect myself. Oh my god. This is human movement. Neji, this technique was for defeating you, but I'll show it now. The shield of sand can't keep up, and the armor of the sand is coming off. Oh no. Extreme Lotus it is continuous high-speed taijutsu that can't be even touched. The answer to defeating Neji is this high-speed combo. No way the sand could keep up. This is it. Funnily enough, Neji during his fight with Kimimaro would actually be able to keep up with this. And he punches him. So Ursa, I need like a feat though. Durability being amped by consequence of amping striking strength. Lee does this when he uses the gates. We don't know how people individually are amplifying themselves. So then goes back to my other charitable case. If we don't know when people or how people are individually amping themselves, why then should we use it in the first place? Y'all think Choji be hitting what's her face with that expansion jutsu? Ayo Mugetsu, you nasty man. Stop it. Lee body breaks when he uses the gates. It's wild how Boruto had Anko become a member of the Akamichi clan. Yeah, that's disgusting. I don't know why they made Anko. Yeah, no. I mean, the Hidden Lotus and him being crushed by the counterforce of his own blows results in him partially withstanding his own AP. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. So here's the I really do not like when people bring up Newton's third law, because then we have to be consistent with every law of physics. But then again, Grid's gonna say, "Oh, Ab-Stract, you already agreed that you can't do that until shown." Yeah, maybe. That's funny. I'll say this. Because I already know this is fiction and I know things aren't going to be consistent, I look for specific feats for specific things that are being argued. I can understand you using this as an example. Although the only thing Lee hits is Gaara, and he's still not able to break through his sand shield, like, completely. So while he's a lot faster and a lot stronger by X amount, we really wouldn't know his AP at all. I think, like, the best we can do, or what we could do, what we could do for a bare minimum, we could take Lee blocking this attack and then scale that X above his 8 gates. But we don't really have any, striking attacks that Lee does. He doesn't really, like, cause any distract. We don't know how hard he's hitting. Tanking damage is the same as tanking when it comes from the same attack. Lee scales to the individual strikes he can produce because his body absorbs the damage and counterforce. He couldn't even withstand his own attack's counterforce. If he could, he wouldn't have hesitated during the Hidden Lotus. Kai says, Ursa, Lee's body is literally ripping his muscles apart. Man isn't tanking his own blows. Like Sakura said, the first gate alone already was putting so much stress on his body as is. This is true. Lee was hospitalized, not just from Gar's sting, but from the whole ordeal. Lee can. He'd explode completely if he couldn't tank the counterforce. Well, no. He wouldn't. Well, I'm not going to say no. He would, explode completely. All this would mean is that Lee's throwing strikes and he's enduring the pain of those strikes. He doesn't have to scale directly to the force. Like if I punch a steel wall and I continue to punch it, I'm not doing any damage to it, but I'm also getting fucked up, but I'm also still throwing punches at the steel wall. My hand's not going to explode from that. Will it be hurt? Yes. Will I be bleeding? Yeah. Naruto as a series actually acknowledging the counter force is really good. I wouldn't say it acknowledges the counter force. All it really does is acknowledge the fact that if you're talking about the energy within the body being released to a higher amount and then that causing damage, yes. But if you're talking about force on force, it doesn't really do that. I mean, I haven't seen it. If it does, I don't know. How is that his fault, says Rev. Tobirama was rightfully suspicious about Madara. You can't expect Tobirama to suddenly accept Madara when he was trying to make Hashirama kill himself for peace. Ursa says, Mugetsu, his body still absorbed the impact. Where did the energy disperse to? It's really good for taijutsu. Not much else. If I punch a wall, the worst that will happen is my knuckles will get scraped a little, and I might sprain my wrist. When Lee punches a person, his bones break. Lee was cracking the armor. The armor was sand. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was. See, but he was only cracking the armor with increased speed and power. He wasn't doing any more than he was already doing, and this is him amped. So that armor is really, really fucking... Either that armor is really, really fucking good, or Lee's 8 gates really just upped his speed a lot, and that's where the power... Are we good? Okay, we back. We back. We lit. Cool. So, yes. Well, I appreciate the effort, Ursa. It's just really hard. See, and maybe, where are we at? Because, like, my question is, when would we want this to be used exactly? Lee's attacks into him. The nature of counterforce in Newton's third applies equal and opposite reactions. Where does the force go from Lee's attack? Where does the force go from Lee's attack into him? Yeah. I'm not saying... I don't think anyone's saying, like, there isn't necessarily a recoil or a rebound of the force. But if it is the case that the energy itself is fucking him up, I would assume that the force at which he's throwing those strikes would also be doing equally as much damage, if not more. And Lee's just bearing through the pain. But good night, beautiful people. Hey, take it easy, Shinigami. If we use this logic, Naruto characters lose to Bleach characters even more because Bleach characters not bound by physics on account. Rukia can generate absolute zero. All right, Michael asked me something too. I don't know if I should review that with him not being in here, but he wanted me to look at some Eni's lobby feats. I'll wait for Michael to get in here. I'll wait for Michael to review some of that stuff. Okay. Krishnavista. That's a tough name. I like it. How you doing? Bro, do you think people open rifts in space-time or straight up tear open space-time like paper? Or just open portals like every other anime? Depends on who you're talking about. I mean, because space and time are linked. What's funny is Menos Grande do kind of fold and tear space like paper. Oh, and Bleach. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Menos Grande do actually like hide behind. Menos Grande do hide behind like space, like it's a fucking sheet of, like a curtain. Let's see if we can find Eon's rant on Bleach. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Damn. 3 hour live. This man was live for 3 hours. Good for him.
We are not a traditional cafe. We're completely unconventional. And my Wix website really has to capture
there
the same
There are more
magic.
evidences for tear and rifts than just portals.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Dude.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There are more evidence for tears and rifts. Yeah, like Grimmjow's Gran Resurreccion, literally distorted space-time. That was a tear / a rift. Literally, like I said, Menos Grande hiding behind space like it's a curtain. Well, that's not really a tear. That's more manipulation. Yeah, more manipulation. But yeah. Hold up. All right, let's see if anyone talks about his Bleach rant in here. Bleach power scaling is bad because that's not what the series is about. It's that simple. That's crazy. That's crazy. Eon was cooking Bleach. He better calm down. Let's see.
There, I saw a lot of tall motherfuckers with glasses. That's all I'm gonna say. I saw the Hat Man. The Hat Man. The Hat Man scares me. Chinquetera. That's what it's called. Chinquetera. Oh.
See, I don't know where I would start.
I mean, they're
though.
not meant to be humans, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is heaven literally just poor Edo Japan? That's honestly very much true. It is kind of crazy, and it is also kind of crazy that they have noble families in the afterlife. But I don't think they ever really explored
here we go.
why the databook entries that also get completely contradicted by other databooks stronger than fucking Vasto Lordy whatsoever. Every society. I have no age in other data book statements within the story. Yeah, no, it's not possible. In your Bleach reread, where do you think the strongest One Punch characters can get to? Currently, let me reopen the page I just closed. Currently, the Yonko unironically solo every single character I've seen so far in the Soul Society. I have no fucking reason to believe any of these guys can beat a Yonko from anything that I've seen. Ichigo tearing apart a fucking piece of ground. Renji is so fucking... you know what? I might actually just go on this fucking rant right now, man. I really might just go on this fucking rant. Bro, there are no stakes in Bleach. There are no fucking stakes whatsoever. Every time I read a fucking fight, fucking Renji gets one shot, Kenpachi gets one shot, the fucking Arrancar that pulled up, they're stated to be fucking stronger than a goddamn captain, even though Arrancar are supposed to be stronger than fucking Vastolordi or whatever, but I guess there's only a couple of Vastolordi, but that would mean that fucking Halle Bell is supposed to be stronger in her Vastolordi form than every single fucking captain. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. There's so many fucking contradictions. You want to hear the biggest contradiction? I'm going to hit you with some shit right now. As a matter of fact, I got you right fucking now.
Hello, goodbye.
211. It was like 210 because the... Here, I got you right fucking now. This fucking short-ass bitch right here is the biggest contradiction I have ever seen in all of Bleach. And I swear to God, Kubo cannot write for shit. And if he can, and if you think he can write with whatever bullshit, if you think that, like, first of all, Kubo does not foreshadow at all. He's great at giving callbacks. He does not foreshadow at all. None of this has ever remotely been foreshadowed. But the thing that pisses me off right here is this. How the fuck does Rukia Kuchiki get slammed away by a Day 1 Hollow, is stated to regain her powers, then isn't stated anywhere even remotely implied to have gotten any stronger, and then beats an Arrancar that is at the very least 3 to 2 evolutionary states above fucking Day 1 Hollows? How?
Alright. As funny as this is, Eon. As funny as this is, good brother Eon. You gotta read Bleach, bro. You gotta read Bleach. Listen, if I go on a rant about One Piece, and start pointing out Chopper dodging lightning and, you know, the pussyfoot maneuver being as fast as CP9's Agent Shaves, and Sanji getting hit by bullets, and Zoro one-shotting all the villains that he's ever fought in part 1, pretty much. We could do that. We could go rant for rant about One Piece stuff and Bleach stuff. I could talk about how the biggest threat to an island is a Buster Call. And how Buster Calls don't even destroy the island until they destroy Morijois or whatever. We can talk about that. We can talk about how Whitebeard got his durability bypassed by pistols. We can talk about how we can talk about how Luffy and the Straw Hats. Actually, I don't even want to use that one. I don't even want to use that one. There's a lot to talk about. This is funny, though. So, to answer your question, though, to straight up answer your question, you got to read Bleach. That's number 1. We're told the reason exactly for why this happened, good brother Eon. What happened was Rukia felt within herself, she was still depressed from killing Kaya and Shiba. She wanted to relieve that burden. And in the form of that, she gave away her powers. That's literally what she wanted. She wanted to be powerless because she still felt guilty about killing Kai and Shiba. In Bleach, your emotional state, your psychological state is all tied to how much power you can release or how powerful you are at any given point. So her losing to this Hollow at this time was really a setup via the Hogyoku, because she wanted to lose her power. And then when she gets her powers back, mind you, she's always been as strong as Lieutenant from when we know her. She's always been that strong. The case was that Byakuya had always pulled her names from the listings of people who could become a lieutenant because he didn't want her to go on more dangerous missions. So your rant, as funny as it is completely wrong. I will say unjustified. You just said you just said the Yonko. Hold up. You just said the Yonko are beating who? The captains? Should we just skip the pleasantries and do that video? Yonkos versus. Should we do Yonkos versus captains? Should we just do that? It'd be fun. It'd be a challenge.
How does this bitch lose to a day one hollow, gets absolutely curb stomped by it, but then is one-shotting an Arankar? How does that make any... She's out here shitting herself over a foot soldier Gillian. She is out here Gillian Menos Grande. Also, it sounds like I'm out here giving a goddamn Starbucks fucking coffee order. How the fuck is she out here shitting herself over a Gillian-ass class Menos Grande, but gets absolutely one-shots a motherfucking Arankar with a goddamn Gentei Kaijo seal? There is no consistency from the very fucking start. I'm sorry. Yes, so yes, I'm not... Rohan, listen, you're not going to convince me with the whole Haku bullshit. It's not consistent with the rest of the story. I can agree that Haku is... I can consider that Haku can... I can completely agree
Was
with
that the
Haku
same Rohan that was in here?
He was not going all out against Naruto and Sasuke. Anyway, that aside. Sorry about the rant. I'm sorry. No, Bleach is not consistent in the slightest bit. Kubo's writing a fucking power fantasy. Ichigo really just shows me a lot of the times that, like, it's not even so much like a thing on, like, Kubo, but just more of a thing that, like, I'm just sitting here really thinking to myself, where is the consistency? Where am I supposed to sit? By the way, Kurotsuchi, the fact that the Soul Society allows him to, like, get away with these things.
So, yeah, Eon's problem with Bleach isn't really in the power scaling. He just doesn't like it as a story. That's his biggest thing. He just does not like Bleach as a story. And I guess he doesn't like how... it's quote-unquote inconsistent. That's funny as shit, though. Not gonna lie. Rebecca Collins. This guy doesn't seem to be capable of comprehending anything. That has nothing to do with Toriyama, though. This guy does not understand the context of shonen power cliffing. Eon is reading. There was no villain. Oh, y'all still yapping about that? Damn. Ab-Stract, this is why I stopped tuning into Eon streams. I love One Piece, but this dude is the worst when it comes to his takes on Bleach. Yeah, that's funny. If you're reading, then he got second grade reading level. People are reading Bleach with their eyes closed again. Wait, hold up. So he's reading Bleach for the first time? Is that what's going on here? Hold up. He's reading Bleach for the first time, and he said the captains in the Soul Society can't beat the Yonkos. So he's basing the beginnings of the series captains against pretty much second half of One Piece's Yonkos. Is that what he's doing? That's crazy within itself. But okay. Bleach not written the same as One Piece. In Naruto, Bleach has something they don't. Complexity and subtext. Yes. It doesn't matter. The village became rightfully where... Oh, y'all still talking about that? We surely don't get the parallel of post-Soul Society arc Ichigo, who's beating up captains and struggling against basic hollows because of his mental state, and Rukia being able to help because she's been there. Thank you, Grid. I just had explained this to my twin brother the other day. I said, hey, yeah, when Ichigo, after the whole Soul Society thing, he's depressed about his inner hollow or whatever, and he literally can't beat a fodder hollow. He literally can't. He needs help. This is after the Soul Society. This is after Bankai. He still needs help with a hollow. So hopefully he comes to understand that mental state, emotions, and all that other stuff has an impact on your Reiatsu, and Reiatsu equals... Hopefully he gets all this stuff. Hey, Trip, get your mans, bro. Trip, get your mans. First off, Trip, tell him to watch my Toshiro vs. Kakashi video, then tell him to tune into my streams so he can actually, like, pick up some game from Bleach. That kind of has to happen. Rukia also had the Hogyoku inside her. She felt guilty and believed she deserved the same fate as Kaien. That was just the Hogyoku manifesting her desires. Drop your Discord. We can debate there another time about Toburama. LOL. It doesn't matter because that's the context, Rev. Toburama knew the Uchiha didn't mess with Madara and wouldn't agree with him attacking for power. Yet he chose not to make this unknown. So yeah, Kai and Rev, that sounds like an interesting topic. We can cover that one day. If y'all want to put a pin in this, and Rev, if you want to text me like his argument and your full argument, I do not mind having a stream conversation about that. I don't know what it is because I've been kind of like reading everything else, but I definitely do it. It does matter because that's the context. Oh, I already read that. Ursa says yes. Probably to when I was saying Yonkos versus Bleach. That's funny. Tell Robin didn't try to make this. Hey, Sylvie. What's good, Sylvie? Yo, what's up? What's up? You finally fixed that Taco Bell Wi-Fi trip. Yeah, bro. I don't know what happened, bro. It just cut out on me. I guess when I use my data for too long, it just cuts out. Is Eon sped? I'm not saying this is an insult. I just legit can't tell if there's something wrong with his reading comprehension. If it is the case that he's reading Bleach for the first time, he gets a pass. Menos were way overhyped in the beginning of Bleach. Yeah. Same thing with Danzo restricting the Uchiha from helping the Ninetales. Bleach definitely inconsistent. Definitely. It's not. Bleach isn't really inconsistent. Well, like I'll say this: you can't say it's definitely inconsistent. Does it have inconsistencies? Yes. So does every other manga. Is it definitely inconsistent? Whereas you can find like more than 5 times it's been inconsistent in its power scaling. I would challenge you. Like 5 genuine times, like, oh, this literally goes against what this says, you know. The reason Rukia was so afraid of the Gillen was because A, she was powerless. B, Ichigo ain't even have the Shinigami basic down. C, Menos Grande class hollows don't just appear in the living world. Exactly. Menos Grande were stated to be only dealt with by the Royal Guard by Kisuke. When the hell did... Wait, Kisuke said Menos are only dealt with by the Royal Guard? That doesn't even make sense. No, he read Bleach before. Oh, God. Alright, if Eon read Bleach before... Alright, so if he read... So, yeah, he needs to reread Bleach. He needs to reread Bleach. Yeah. Mental state affects most power systems. Like, even Spider-Man beats Silver Surfer if he's mad enough. Spider-Man, like... boy, oh boy. Oh, he got to join the Meat Riders to get the gymnastics of why Bleach is good. I told him about you already, Trip, and he's watching your video soon. Hey, let's go. By the way, Stein also doesn't think Bleach is that strong. Trip, I didn't say Kisuke. You need to reread my comment. Oh, all right, let me see. Let me see. You said... Where did you say? Let me go up. You joined here. Bleach definitely inconsistent. Menos Grande were stated to be only dealt with by... Menos Grande were stated to only be dealt with by the Royal Guard. Oh, by Rukia. My fault, bro. I got you. Okay. Rukia also got her ass whooped. Okay, by Rukia. Okay. Don't let us find out you know more verses, Ab-Stract. What you mean? What you mean? What you mean I know more verses? You talking about like anime? What you talking about? That's funny as shit though. Alright, let me go back to that other thing you said. You said I told him about you already and he's watching your video saying, okay, cool. That's dope. I appreciate that, Red, because I think it's cool when never mind. Just me being in content creator mode, it's cool. I'm not even gonna go there. By the way, Stein also doesn't think Bleach is that strong. Okay. Okay. Alright. So it really depends on what you mean by that strong. Mind you, Stein is the same guy that has video titles like this. And it all comes down to scaling, of course. If I scaled like the majority of Bleach fans scaled, Let me see. Oh, I don't think I subscribed to Stein Exposed.
Hey guys, Stein Exos here.
Yeah. Alright. Where is it at? Where is it at? Beautiful thumbnails, by the way. Where's... Okay, yeah. So, like, I haven't watched this video, but he has videos like top 7 planet-destroying devil fruits. I know he has a planetary One Piece video or something like that. Faster than light, which is, I guess, fine now, right? Where's that one? Oh, agenda scaling. Luffy is stronger than Goku. So he has videos like this up, right? When you say Bleach isn't that strong, and you have videos like this up. And of course, this all goes into scaling and how one scales. But of course, Bleach isn't going to look that strong when you have videos like this up for One Piece. It's just not. Now, Eon has a whole nother issue. He needs to reread. Eon just needs to reread Bleach. Because 90% of the things that he thinks is wrong with the series, he either has a misunderstanding of or has just gotten wrong from misinformation over the years. But that is funny as shit. Different in Bleach, though. Rage boots are blatantly not what happens in Bleach. Rage is a nerf in Bleach. Rage is a nerf in Bleach? I don't know about that. I don't know. I'd have to look more into that as far as Rage is being a nerf or a buff. Don't let us find out you know more versus Ab-Stract. Yeah, that's hilarious. I don't know what we're talking about, Ursa, but I like it. It's funny. I don't be using Discord Rev. Red, Rukia wasn't strong from her perspective. The Menos only appeared in ancient texts and legends from millennia ago when the royal guards and nobles occasionally subdued them. Rukia is like 140 years old. Rukia is 200 years old. Yeah, she should be around 200. She should be. I think so. Something like that. She's 150 years old. She told Ichigo she was 10 times his age in chapter 1. I told you, I'm trying to get you into the fold. Looking out for my people. Hey, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. I appreciate it, Red. Naruto switching up the moment Bleach gets slandered, but if Naruto got hate, he's celebrating like he did when Sanji got shot once. It ain't no switching up. It ain't no switching up. I'm extremely consistent. I'm just saying, if we want to go rant for rant on different series, we can do that. Mind you, I already have videos on One Piece where I have the low gear problem and I have Kuzan, how cold is Kuzan, right? We haven't even talked about Garp getting stabbed by Shiryu. Haven't even talked about that. Haven't even talked about Van Augur being able to one-shot a Cracker Soldier, but Luffy not being able to hurt it in base, which would intimate Van Augur can one-shot like a Zoro at that time. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of things to consider. Soul Society has a million years of history, and Menos Grande have been incredibly rare since Adonais split the primordial realm into what we know as the Bleachverse. I don't be using Twitter either. I have a Discord and a Twitter account, but using it isn't something I really do. Twitter is just for the stuff, but Discord is just for downloading. Until Aizen put up with Menos and higher tier hollows, most Shinigami had never actually seen one. Even lieutenants didn't know about the Negacion. Yamashi had to explain it to them. That's true. He's literally reading it right now. Oh, he's reading Bleach right now? Wait, are you saying he's live right now reading Bleach? Nah, he ain't live. Is he? No. Okay. Okay, you're saying he's literally rereading the series right now. Yeah. So here's what he needs to do then. Here's what he needs to do. He doesn't necessarily need to hold all opinions until he's finished. But a rant like that, see, here's the thing. If you've already read a series and you're rereading it again, maybe it's just me. I expect people to like remember or, you know, retain certain things. Maybe it's just me. If you read the whole series, you would understand why Rukia lost to that hollow. You would understand why she one-shot D-Roy. You would understand why Ichigo one-shot Renji. Well, you need a little bit more for that, but you get the gist. Some Bleach scalers trying to get Ichigo over Dragon Ball Z Goku. I mean, I'm not surprised. I just showed you that Steinixos tried to do it. I already know there's a bajillion Naruto people that try and do it. I'm not surprised. That's a relevant argument. When their statements feats to back up those statements, it is okay. You mentioning Goku shows your way of reasoning. Yeah, I'm only recently active on Discord because of Shinigami and Trip, who I talked to on there. I would like to debate Tabarama, though. It's an interesting topic that I think the memes has ruined. The Majestic Trickster 55. You watched the Big Three versus Shinra Bansho Man? I've not seen that. I don't know what the Big Three would do against Shinra Bansho Man. He's kind of crazy. Eon addresses the Kenpachi issue. I didn't know there was a Kenpachi issue.
Where he just blows up his own men by implanting them with like bombs and shit. That is just so fucking foul to me, in my opinion.
Does Eon also think like Caesar Clown is foul? Does he think Dr. Hawkback is foul? Or is it One Piece and it gets to be goofy?
Uryu losing his Shinigami powers, but sorry, not his Shinigami powers, his Quincy powers. Here's my opinion: Endgame Meliodas wipes Bleach. That's a crazy ass fucking. Probably, I don't know, man. I haven't gone there yet. I don't know where I would scale them yet. Uryu being capable of like losing his.
The same Meliodas that can't deal with. I don't even want to say fate manipulation, but it kind of is. Meliodas is the same guy who can't even get rid of a curse that makes him immortal. Stop it.
His powers, but then getting them back like an arc later is about as bad as Ichigo losing his powers and then getting them back in an arc later, man. It just doesn't make any fucking sense to me. What is the point of having your characters being written to lose their powers and then if you're just going to write them back in the very next arc? It's just bad writing, in my opinion. I'm sorry. If you think that I'm being a little bit harsh or whatever, if you really like the series, I'm not telling you to dislike Bleach. I'm not telling you to go take a shit in Kubo's coffee. All I'm really saying is that like there's a level of inconsistency here that like when I've read something like One Piece, even when I've read.
Hey, does anyone in here think Aizen beats Beerus? Does anyone believe that? This is not a trick. I just want to know if what Red is saying is true. And you can be honest, please. Does anyone believe Aizen beats Beerus?
Reread something like Naruto, and yeah, I do have my issues with Naruto for the most part, especially with like the later portions of the story. But when I get to like points like this, I'm just like, bruh, this is just not that well written, in my opinion. I'm sorry. When the fuck does Ichigo fight Renji? When the fuck does Ichigo fight? Oh no, this is way farther. Like I gotta get like way farther than this. Like when he fights what's his face Ikkaku Madarame, he one shots Ikkaku Madarame. I'm just sitting. By the way, this
he didn't one shot Ikkaku.
In the anime, there's a feat that people brought up here that makes Uryu lightspeed because he blitzed his own shadow or some bullshit. One of my mods actually sent me one of my mods. Oh yeah, this right here. I don't think that this is his shadow. I don't think that this is his shadow. I do think that this is just like a speed thing. Anyway, speed lines, because when you see the actual like anime adaptation, the shadow's gone at the same time he's gone. He's not blitzing light. Admirals versus Naruto. Yeah, no, Naruto gets absolutely curb stomped by the Admirals. But that's for later. He really doesn't have a way of hurting them. when Ichigo fights Renjin, when he fights Ikaku Madarame, what really fucking pisses me off about all of this is that, like, okay, let's just look at this for a second. Ichigo is out here slightly overpowering Renji. Renji pushes him back, unleashes Zabimaru, pushes him all the way around. Ichigo's bleeding. Cool, whatever. Fine, he's bleeding. That's not an issue. Renji is the one that's being on the attack, on the offense the entire time. He's throwing Ichigo back. Ichigo's bleeding out more than fucking Renji. Renji's dodging him, puts Ichigo down, slashes right through to him. Renji is standing above Ichigo, calling him out to be too slow. And then Ichigo, out of nowhere, he just locks in and he one-shots Renji. This is what I've been seeing for so many of these fights. Not just Renji. With Kenpachi, with the other Arankars, with everything that I have seen, Ichigo...
The locking in portion or the one-shot portion? Okay.
Or any of the other characters always win off of a one-shot. It is so...
The one-shot
It just
portion.
removes so many stakes from so many of these fights. It's Lightspeed pre-time skip before time skip? No, the hell he's not. He is definitely not. You can believe it. Wonderbuds, you can believe it. How is he not Lightspeed? Because he's slower than a guy like Lee, who is slower than a supersonic attack from the fucking Sound Ninja. The Biju bombs are mountain level. They destroy mountains. I'm willing, okay, if, like, I'm willing to, like, hear people say, and sure, if you want to say that, like, Sukuna's, like, large city level, even, like, by upscaling, like, domain expansions, which only have a range of, like, like, 200 meters, sure, whatever. A tailed beast bomb is only mountain level. When the fuck has a tailed beast bomb blown anything high, a single tailed beast bomb blown anything from any tailed beast, blown up anything, or done any more damage than just blowing up a mountain? I haven't seen anything like that. The giant explosion was caused by a total of, like, 5 tailed beast bombs plus a tailed beast bomb that's as powerful as 5 of them. Like, without Haku, unless you find Haki, unless you find no natural weakness, you can't do anything to them. Yeah. Pre-time skip before, bro. Just pre-time skip. The argument has more holes in it than a firing squad. I'm sorry, but, like, Bleach just has no stakes to it. Every time one of these characters is in a position where they are getting absolutely thrashed, yes, thrashed by their opponent,
This is such a weird... This is such a weird critique. I'm sorry. What are Luffy's... What are the Straw Hats' stakes? Does anyone know what the Straw Hats' stakes are? They literally go from island to island bullshitting. Let's read some comments real quick, because this is funny. Nigga said Sukuna versus Hanataro. That's crazy. Eon coming off like a cornball YouTuber that screamed like a man-child over SpongeBob episodes. I mean, I wouldn't say all that. The only, like, I just don't... He can have his problem with this, the scaling... But don't lump it into why the, like, he can have his problem with the story. Don't lump it into why the scaling's bad though. That's just like, all right, those are two separate issues, bro. There's some guys here that think Aizen beats Beerus. I already read that. That was anime only trip. Never happened in the manga. I don't know what you're talking about. Never happened in the manga. Whitebeard getting shot by bullets. What are you talking about? What Kenpachi issue? He consistently nerfs himself to his opponent's level subconsciously. Kenpachi issue. Exactly. I don't know yet. By the way, D-Roy is literally considered a failure of an Arankar. He is multiple times, yeah. We're looking at Luffy versus Goku video. What are you talking about? I mean, she literally trained before fighting D-Roy. She even got her Shikai during said training. Something she didn't have when we first get introduced to her. Well... No, she'd been had her Shikai. If you mean she just got her Shikai when she fought D-Roy, no. She had her Shikai since before Kai and Shiba, because he taught her how to use her techniques and stuff like that, if you remember Kai. He doesn't misunderstand the Renji stuff. He's saying Renji fucking trash, LOL. The Rukia stuff makes no sense, no matter how you slice it. Most Bleach fans outside of you guys say it's bad. What's the Rukia stuff? Red, are you saying Rukia losing to that Hollow, or Rukia one-shotting D-Roy, who was like the lowest barrel of the Arankar? Most, LOL. You really making categorical statements, Red. Ab-Stract. Oh, yeah, I read it. How is Caesar Clown the same as Mayuri? Mayuri is their subordinate. Caesar literally an op. That was nonsensical trip. Troll better. No, I'm just saying, like, you can't criticize. I've never seen him criticize Caesar Clown. I've never seen it. I've never seen him criticize Dr. Hawkback. Never seen it. They've both did immoral things. Hell no. Uno Hana being alive while other Kenpachis were alive. Karibo, none of those other Kenpachis were the true Kenpachi. Please don't act like you've never read Bleach before. Did he really call an entire 20% of the arc dedicated to Ichigo getting his powers back instantly? Yeah, that's crazy. I'm sorry, how can Beerus beat Aizen Hakai? Him ain't working. I think there's argument for Aizen versus Beerus. Yachiru Uehana died. Retsu was born. You have smart in your name, bro. Come on. You got your proof, Trip. Wait, what was the... Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, she said there's an argument for it. She didn't say she thinks it could happen. She says there's an argument for it. And here's the thing. Depending on how you scale, I believe there's an argument for it. Let me... Like, when I fully lock in on determining how I believe Reiatsu and Yuha D-stable... Once Core 4 is finished, probably... Yeah. I might be talking that shit too. Once Core 4 is finished, though. Yeah, once Core 4 is finished. Running, trying to sound deep. Talk to him, Kirigo. That's literally explained in the series. Unohana Yakushido stepped down and became Unohana Retsu because she felt she was no longer worthy of the kid Kenny had nerfed. Yeah. Notice how he's just speeding through the panels of explanation. Nah, Red Karibo thought he cooked. Stop egging him on. If Aizen died in Regen Multiple, he may be strong enough to do it. The question should be, how can Beerus kill Aizen? Now you thought you cooked. I did. Can characters more powerful than Aizen negate Kyoka Subigetsu? Those characters would have to, like, pretty much eclipse Aizen in spirit energy. More powerful isn't a barometer. I believe you'd have to eclipse them in spirit energy. Desu was not supersonic. It was just sound, and Dosu was not supersonic. Lee was right in front of him. One shot, Renji spent the whole fight trying not to get hit by Ichigo because of how sharp his Ratsu is. Ichigo took like a ton of hits. How is this a one-shot fight? Well, no, I'll give him that. Like, it is a one-shot fight, as in the first and only attack Ichigo does beats Renji. But that's just better for the scaling for Ichigo. I'm working on a system to determine how much stronger a character is in Bleach based off them no-selling attacks and one-shotting people. I'm working on a system. 0 stars on Uber Eats, man. Kariba says that's a reach. Ronan says, what's a reach? Yours truly, Highness Zoro. How you doing, by the way? No, even Yuha can't do nothing about it. Well, no, if I remember correctly, Yuha does negate Kyoka Suigetsu. He breaks his Zanpakuto. In the future, yeah. Well, I guess that wouldn't technically be negating it. But then again, it's not like... I don't think Yuha at that point even eclipsed Aizen at that point, because Aizen could still feel Yuha's Reiatsu. Eon is passionate. That's hilarious. He's biased, and unfortunately, he can't see it. When I'm passionate over something, I don't scream like a banshee. Augur beating Cracker Biscuits. That's anime only? Hey, Trip, I got to talk to Twin, because he's the one that told me that happened. So I got to talk to him about that now. Thank you, though. Didn't know that. The Ichigo fight he just went over is the same exact way. I was going to say that. The Ichigo fight he went over is literally the same exact shit with Mr. One. It's the same with the Cloud guy from Skypiea. I think it's the same with what's the bull's name from CP9? The giraffe. I think it's the same with him. Zoro literally one-shots all of his fucking opponents, bro. Literally the same thing. It's crazy. Gotta go see y'all. Hey, take it easy, Grid. Ronin, we're all biased towards our favorites. Like I pointed out, a lot of y'all think Goku would lose to Ichigo, Aizen, or Yuha. You mad, Mugetsu? Maybe the One Piece verse ain't some bums. Nah, the anime be giving them non-canon stuff that ain't in the manga. There was no big Hakai bird surrounding Shanks' wanks when he beat Useless Maid. Ronin says, Red never said he's the only biased one, though. Just that he is biased. It's an observation. Glad you can admit to being biased too, Ronin. Them being called Kenpachi while not being true Kenpachi devalues the name Kenpachi. I mean, yeah, you can say that, but don't say, like, it's somehow inconsistent. And I don't even necessarily agree with that, but you can definitely say it if you want to. Mugetsu says, oh, I know I'm blessed. Got to keep my agenda strong. I agree, Karibo. I am biased towards Bleach, though, LOL. I don't have biases about manga, only comic books. Red says, that's Cap. Oh, no, Trip. If he's gassing it, I'm trolling then. Zoro never one-shotted Kaku in CB9 arc or King, only MR. No, he one-shot Mr. One and he one-shot the Cloud guy from Skypiea. It happened twice. If he didn't one-shot Kaku, that's fine, but Ichigo doesn't go on to one-shot most people after the Renji thing, so. I just don't think the Narutoverse is as strong as Bleach, and I'm an even bigger One Piece fanboy. There you go.
These guys just get up out of nowhere and just say, all right, time for me to lock in, and then they just win. And I'm sorry, but I just don't like that. I don't like this idea that these characters can just win out of nowhere simply because, read what I just said, even if the Bija Bums are mount level, that doesn't mean Naruto is tanking a constant level attack with Juroneck. Yeah, I agree with that. Oda states in an SBS, Olga Garp somewhat on par with his prime self, nor equal or somewhat on par with his prime self, and Kuzan was winning his fight against, I don't know about winning, because Garp was mostly put down by taking damage that he didn't need to take, specifically from the fact that he was also fighting the, specifically from the fact that he also took a serious stab, well, not a serious, but a serious enough stab wound from, what's his face, and talking about him being mentally nerfed, I have no reason to believe that. I have no reason to believe that the whole mental nerf thing lowered down his capability to fight to such an extent that he was literally fighting at a 5th or a 10th or whatever of his power. Also, that statement from the SBS, can you give me the actual statement, can you give me the actual, like, SBS number from it so I can read it? Because if that statement was made anywhere before, like, the last 3 or 4 years when the Garp moment where he's saying he's getting rusty, where he's like not at his full power, unless you can give me something like that.
How's he going through these panels so fast? I have to click and go to a whole other thing. He just has the whole manga.
Where you scale, I have no idea, because there's no like destructive capacity feat that I can at least get it to a bare minimum. All of these guys get somewhere between, like, I guess, like, maybe, I have no idea, man. I have no idea. They were wall level before. Ichigo destroys a good portion of the ground with his Getsuga Tensho, and I guess you could say he's unquantifiably more powerful from there on out by the time he fights Byakuya. He's, like, quite literally unquantifiably more powerful. The whole 10 million Zanpakuto with the Sogyoku doesn't kind of mean anything to me, because these aren't, like, Zanpakuto like Shikai or even Bankai. It just sounds like has the power of a 1 million Asauchi, so whatever you think 1 million normal swords, the damage of, like, 1 million normal swords equates to, sure, I guess, whatever the fuck that means. Also, if I'm gonna have people constantly come into my chat and constantly come into my comments and tell me, hey man, Kizaru's light, is it Kizaru or all these other guys are only light speed because of Kizaru, or a pacifista beam isn't light speed because it isn't directly stated to be a light speed, even though it's stated to be a replica of Kizaru's abilities, or it's slated to be a literal beam of light. I'm not going to consider a Menos Grande beam of light a spiritual light beam being light speed as well. I have no reason to believe that unless it's stated to be verbatim the speed of light. Naruto's MFTL How is Naruto MFTL? When he started Lightspeed, he started his Lightspeed meta at the start. Yes, at the start of the war arc. How is he MFTL? Do you understand that people don't got... I'm not gonna say they don't got a brain like that. I feel like there is definitely a... People want their favorite verses or the verses that they like the most to be strong, and that is completely fine. I don't have an issue with people considering certain verses to want to be powerful. But for example, like Yami and Ulquiorra, right? How the fuck is Yami the strongest Espada? Like, honestly, how the fuck is he the strongest Espada? I guess he's like Espada number 10 or whatever. He's like the weakest. Well, he's like in this state, but the strongest when like he gets angrier or whatever. But like the idea that like they're ripping out these souls from like regular schmegular people that can't even like sense like regular hollows. But then Ichigo's friend, the girl who is at best a very good martial artist by normal human standards, she is a very, very good martial artist and has simply dealt with hollows before. So maybe you could say because she's dealt with hollows before, her soul is slightly stronger. She didn't get her soul ripped apart by Yami. So why would I believe that one of these guys would rip apart the soul from one of these more powerful characters like Luffy or all these other guys that are multi-continental when he couldn't even rip the soul out of a girl like this? I'm sorry. Like, there are so many things about this series, like Chad, for example. Chad sucks. I'm sorry. Chad is fucking dog shit. I have yet to see this guy do anything that is even remotely impressive to any character not named...
I mean, if we're being real... First off, Tatsuki does have Reiatsu. That's the component that kept her alive. She had Reiatsu. If you don't have that component, you are shit out of luck. If you don't have that component or a high degree of soul manipulation, you are shit out of luck. Just what it is.
Actually not named anything. He hasn't done anything even remotely impressive. He's beaten a hollow. No, Eon. I had to explain to this Kizaru isn't light speed because of his light, and the light fruit makes his base speed become light. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. People really don't seem to understand that you can improve the capabilities of your devil fruits, and the fact that characters without the ability to, without any light speed ability from the base abilities that their devil fruits grant, like, I don't know, Luffy, Akainu, Aokiji, Chopper, characters who have the ability to move at the speed of light, dodge beams of light, move at FTL speeds, are capable of moving at these speeds. Yet Kizaru, the guy who ate a who ate a fruit that turned him into actual light, like, I don't know, man. Ichigo being planetary and all these things, I haven't gotten to any of these points yet. I haven't gotten to like any massive explosions. I haven't gotten to anything crazy that I could like maybe give you a scale of. But the thing about Bleach is that it doesn't give you any statements to really work off of. It really does not give you that many statements to work off of in terms of like how powerful these characters are. It says that like this guy is weak enough to be defeated by a lieutenant or a regular Shinigami, but then a regular Shinigami is only as strong as like I don't know, regular Shinigamis get smoked by hollows. I'm supposed to believe that like a lieutenant, someone like Rukia, who is also, mind you, once again, Rukia, who is has the strength of a lieutenant. She is as strong as a lieutenant, has the skills of a lieutenant, still lost to a day 1 hollow, and yet, like, a captain class Shinigami is supposed to be, like, 10 times stronger than that or whatever, man. I don't fucking know, dude. Please see the panel when he was hit by this...
Boy. By that same logic, Buggy being a Yonko devout. By that same logic, Buggy being a Yonko devalues the Yonko title, but no Bleach fan worth their salt would use a corny argument like that. Oh no, Trip, if he's gassing it, I'm trolling then. Where was I? It's an 11th Division tradition to name the leader of the division Kenpachi. Mugetsu says, Ab-Stract, I'd like to let you know that they're talking about strong dudes like Kurashiki and Nazashiro devaluing the Kenpachi title. Buggy is in the current Yonko lineup, by the way. Yeah, I have no idea. So, like, and the thing is, Kenpachi was the only person that killed the last Kenpachi. I have no idea how this would devalue the title at all. Buggy is riding on bluffs and fake clout. Isn't that his thing? That is his thing. People use the word one shot incorrectly, by the way. Technically speaking, you only get one shot if you get beaten in a single attack. Basically, just once in general. Yeah, I agree. And Mr. Inzuro, no. I don't agree with that. My fault. No. It's a one shot if the attack you do, like, how do I say this, bro? Like, you can fight someone and throughout the course of the fight, them not take damage, and then you get enough power to where you overwhelm their durability so much that they're just out for the count and you one-shot them. Like Naruto and Toneri were fighting that entire time. I don't remember any of Naruto's moves landing except for the punch. The punch is the one thing that knocked him out, though. Ab-Stract, what's more devaluing of a title? Azishiro and Kurashiki being Kenpachi, Buggy being Gonyanko, or Shikamaru being Hokage? I'm not gonna lie, Shikamaru probably being Hokage is probably the worst shit we've ever seen. Damn, Eon really gotta chill, bro. Honestly, I agree with Eon on this point. I hate Yami. Okay, now Yami, we can agree on. Dumbest take ever. He finna piss me off. Chad struggling. Chad disrespect will not be tolerated. Same dude who just said it has to be stated that the character can move at the speed of light. Now saying, meh, yeah, you can be faster than light because I say so. So this is what happens when you go into a story with power scalar brain instead of trying to actually comprehend the narrative. Check your DMs pronto. I did a think. Show it to the chat. I got you. You crash out about your own inability to understand the story and blame the story for it. Yeah, that's hilarious. Oh, shit. That's hard. Oh, that's hard. Ayo. This is fire. Ayo, Mugetsu. I'm going to use this as a thumbnail one day. That's fire. That's tough. Wait. Shik is a Hokage? Yep. He is the current Hokage in Boruto, yep.
By the sound, not the speed. He was hit by the sound, not the speed. Yeah, no, he was hit by a sound-based attack. I'm aware of that. What's the argument? He couldn't evade the attack? Okay, sure. But then Sasuke's out here getting blitzed by Lee, who's not as fast as Haku. The listen, the Naruto early lightspeed meta does not make any fucking sense. Check out the last panel. He was hurt by the sound. He's dodged the attack. He's hurt by the sound. By the sound hurt his ears and started bleeding. Lee blitzed them all before that. Please check out the panel. I could check out panel all you want. He wasn't fast enough to use his primary Lotus when unlocking the... I can check out the panel. I can also show you the panel where his primary Lotus, one of his faster attacks, couldn't even outspeed a supersonic attack that was about to hit the ground. I can show you... I can see one panel. I know the panel you're talking about. I can show you a panel where Lee, using the primary Lotus...
Yes, I agree with you, Trip. But people think every finisher is a one-shot when... No, that isn't the case. Nor do I think Renji got one-shotted. Wait, how do you consider Renji not getting one-shotted when it was the only attack that actually landed on him that finished the fight? Can you explain that to me, Trip? I agree with you, Red. Okay, so Rev agrees too. Explain to me why you guys think that Renji didn't get one shot by Ichigo. There's a website that lets you easily make One Piece multipliers. That's dope. Shikamaru is not officially Hokage, more like a placeholder. I think Trip is using the one-shot term and following with how Eon used it. Stop calling me Trip, Ronin. I think he was talking about me, Red. So we are supposed to ignore Lee was feeling recoil from the plant primary lotus. Dude skips all the context. Not you. I call you Red, LOL. Yeah, he was calling me Trip Red. Which is funny because that's your nickname for me.
Yes,
Smooth Getsu, what is the
an
website?
attack that's hitting the ground. That's gonna draw. That's gonna hit the opponent down at a different path. Is supposed to be strong to Lorde. Chad is not as strong as a Vasto Lorde because a Vasto Lorde is stated to be stronger than a.
Red says, was that the only attack? If so, that bum got one shot at the end. LOL. Yeah, bro. Yeah, that was the only attack that Ichigo did that landed the entire fight. The only attack that was going to hit Renji that came close was his perfectly timed counterattack, but Renji was faster than Ichigo, so he ended up dodging that attack. Ichigo did no damage to Renji at all.
Captain, and yet these are Rankars who are apparently supposed to stay Vasto Lorde. Chad is not as strong as a Vasto. Again, he needs to move between. Aku A did not travel down at another mirror. No, he traveled down, is as strong as a Vasto Lorde. Chad is not as strong as a Vasto Lorde because a Vasto Lorde is
how did he transition to that?
Right out of his ice mirrors, which again he needs to move between. Aku A did not travel down at another mirror. No, he traveled down, is as strong as a Vasto Lorde. Chad is not as strong as a Vasto Lorde because a Vasto Lorde is stated to be stronger than a captain, and yet these are Rankars who are apparently supposed to be stronger than Vasto Lordes because they're evolved past the point of a Vasto Lorde. What the fuck? No, this doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Oh, they were Gillians? But they couldn't be Gillians because they couldn't have evolved straight from a Gillian. For a Gillian to become an Adhucha, which seems to be the version of where all the Hollows seem to, for at least some of the other Rankar seem to have, sorry, not the Espada, seem to have evolved from. You'd have to be at least an Adhucha. This shit does not make any, how is this disingenuous? So the attack is sound speed. Yeah. At the very least, the speed of sound. No, Haku can move at the speed of light. He was not trying against Naruto and Sasuke. I can show you all the panels where he says, I do not want to kill you people. I do not want to go all out. I don't know, man. I don't know. Bleach is getting me Bleach is really pissing me off, bruh. Bleach is really, really pissing me off. All of these guys are getting absolutely thrashed by these fucking, Shinigami. Mind you, Toshiro Hitsugaya, who is a fucking captain and should be way stronger than Rukia Kuchiki, is out here performing worse than her, bro. And you could probably say the guy he's fighting is stronger, which sure, but is the difference so fucking massive? Is the difference so fucking massive that the guy could literally push Toshiro Hitsugaya to go into his Bankai? I don't know, man.
Yes.
This has a lot of style.
Yes. That is the threat that they are facing with the, not only Arankar, the Espada. I'm sorry, not only the lower class Arankar, like the Fracciones, but the Espada. Yeah, that is the threat they're facing. And mind you, Ichigo just beat two captains in Soul Society. Grimmjow just showed up and beat Ichigo's ass. The Espada were stronger than the captains. That statement wasn't false, or at least though most of the captains. That statement wasn't false. I don't think Eon understands 3 months go by, everyone is told to train their asses off, and now Toshido can fight the third fucking Espada. Don't know what's, I'm just going to chalk this up to a misunderstanding of the series. Since he's rereading it, I'll give him some grace for this. I'm just going to chalk this whole rant up as a misunderstanding of the series. There's a website that lets you easily make wanted posters. Shikamaru, oh yeah, I already read that. Oh, I already read all that shit. Okay. Karibo says, so Renji was faster, but Ichigo was stronger. No. At the time it happened, Renji was faster and stronger. Hence how he was whooping Ichigo's ass. What happened during that fight was when Ichigo found his resolve, he got an amp. His Reiatsu started surging again, like he was in the world of the living in their first fight. And then he got stronger than Renji in that moment by at least, in my opinion, 5 times because he was able to one-shot him. But hey, That's for another video. I'm on my phone, so I can't really tag Ab-Stract or Red. I have to type it all out. That's why I call you Red and use your nickname for Ab-Stract, that being Trip. Around car are not beyond Vasilode by default. See how Powerscaler brain runs? I think he might have been reading a comment. I don't even know, bro. Yeah. Check the DMs, make a quick one to post him. Not now, bro, not now. We're about to actually end it after he's done with this. I sent it in the chat, but it didn't go through. Remove the dots. He's still reading, though. He's in the early 200s. No, Rodin, find your own bag. Don't steal my swag. That's hilarious.
No, Bleach is all style, no substance to me. To me, Bleach is... No, the panels go extremely hard, by the way. The art style is sick. I will never deny that. But Bleach is all style, no substance. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, take a break from Powerscale Beyblade Metal series. It's a fun time, I promise. Some of their bays are universal. I don't know, man. I saw the Beyblade Metal series. I saw Metal Fusion, Metal Masters. I saw all that stuff. I can't sit through the whole Blader Spirit thing. If I would ever scale Beyblade, I'm starting off with the original series. I cannot do that metal shit, bro. The Blader Spirit stuff it tries so hard to go into like the whole heart of the card shtick that.
Did he already talk about Kenpachi?
Me out in a sense. Also, Kenpachi Zoro.
Okay.
Why? Okay. I'm sorry. Why does listen? I understand. What does the title, does Kenpachi mean? What does Kenpachi mean? The Kenpachi title, let me see. According to Kenpachi, is the title given only to the strongest Shinigami. According to Hanataro Yamada, the name Kenpachi signifies one who loves to fight, who has slain more than any other Shinigami, and the one who will never fall no matter how many times he is cut. It is an Iron Clan rule that there can only be one Kenpachi per generation, meaning that the predecessor must die. For the killer to succeed the title, to inherit this title, the candidate must kill the current Kenpachi in a battle. How can Kenpachi Zaraki gain the title of Kenpachi, but then for there to be other Kenpachis after Unohana, even though Kenpachi defeated Unohana? So what the fuck is this? Because Pegasus literally is fueled by positive emotions like friendship. Everyone else is just like that.
Did he just say Kenpachi beat Unohana?
Other Kenpachis, Kenpachi Zaraki gained the title of Kenpachi, but then for there to be other Kenpachis after Unohana, even though Kenpachi defeated Unohana. So what the fuck is this?
Okay. Yeah. So, number one, Kenpachi did not beat Unohana when he was a kid. She beat him. As close as it was, she beat him. She admits she was weaker, yes. But since he subconsciously lowered his power, she ended up beating him. That's number one. Number two, Unohana abandons the title of Kenpachi as far as like position and stuff. The squad, all that stuff. She officially still holds the name because she is alive. And then the other people of Squad 8 can assume the moniker, but they are not the true Kenpachis.
Because Pegasus literally is fueled by positive emotions like friendship. Everyone else is just like that. I'm sorry. It's just too cringe to me, man. I would probably be willing to give it a look back. I'd probably have to watch it in sub just so I don't have to listen to the power of the Blader Spirit. I will probably throw something out of my window if I do. I don't know, man. Like, Kenpachi, how the fuck is Kenpachi Zaraki supposed to be the strongest Soul Reaper, but he's losing to Shikai Ichigo, who has to train in order to not only master Getsuga Tensho, but in order to also master Bankai, which is a 10 times amp, in order to fight Byakuja motherfucking Kuchiki, bro. Like, some of this shit just doesn't make any sense. How is Kenpachi then the strongest? Oh, but Eon, it's very simple. Kenpachi's the strongest because he's simply nerfing himself mentally. But if he's nerfing himself mentally and he's not the strongest, then shouldn't Byakuya or Captain Yamamoto be the fucking Kenpachi? What the fuck, man? Those are pretty good. You should try out for shonen protagonists. Oh, I appreciate that. Like, it just doesn't make sense, man. It just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. It just all feels like it's constantly contradicting itself, man. Like, I'm sorry. It really just does feel like it's constantly contradicting all of these different fucking things, man. I don't know. Like, I get the whole thing with like Aizen. One of my mods, actually two of my mods, Six, and I think it was Bob. I think it was Six, Bob, but I know for a fact it was Stein, or was it Lapis? I don't remember. They were talking about how like it's pretty consistent that like Aizen should be universal, because Aizen was like, this right here to me is building level. Sure, these guys can be building level. They're all supposed to have like Zanpakuto that have the capacity to be like the size of buildings. That's all fine. But if this is supposed to be, he's supposed to be at least stronger than all of the other Soul Reapers, how in the figgity fuck did Ichigo lose to him, but basically have to get a Bankai and a Holification to overpower Byakuya? Man, it just doesn't make sense, man. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Does he not understand that Byakuya also has a Bankai and a Shikai? I don't get what he doesn't get. That doesn't make sense. I really don't get it. Like I said, though, I'm willing to give him some grace. Second read through, that's fine. A-Red, I ain't stealing, just borrowing. That's how they got us on those. That's how they got us on those boats too. No, thank you. The bladed spirit is peak. Besides, Unc's got to be graceful to the youngins. Facts. Rev, do what I do and call your friends Jew 1, Jew 2, Jew 3, etc. Most of my friends are not even Jewish, but we call each other Jews anyway. That's hilarious. You got to read Bleach at least 3 times to see the light. The first try Bleach is meh. Second try Bleach is complicated. Third try Bleach is wow, goated. I kind of knew it on the first walk through the anime. Yeah. I kind of knew what it was. Yeah, I already knew. Baby Blood was cool. The series after Ginka isn't the main character anymore is where they lost me. He just read it and still doesn't get it. He just read it and still doesn't get it. Yeah. So you gotta lie to yourself. Yours truly. No. Is it hard to understand that Unohana Yachiru died when Unohana Yachiru was born? She believes she shouldn't have lost and let the Unohana Yachiru die until the time was right for Kenpachi to kill her. She did not beat him, though. No, she beat him. If you remember. Well, not even if you remember. She says this boy is the Kenpachi after, like, knocking him out or whatever. She won the fight. He subconsciously nursed himself and lost because of it. When she was walking away, he was on the ground. Bro, this is brain dead. He's pissing himself off because of his own stupidity. Oh yeah, Eon got a bad case of 75 IQ. This Eon is retarded or what? Mac CNM. I want to say chill on E because as far as I like his work, his Bleach takes not so good. I like his work though. I want to say chill on him. We'll see how he does in an official video he releases. I already know there's going to be issues though because he's looking for big explosions and not that Bleach doesn't have those things, but it just kind of depends on like is he going to say Aizen and Ichigo's air pressure clash is mountain is he going to say that's mountain level? Then again, I won't be surprised if he does because most people say it's mountain level without knowing how to fucking actually get the AP for it. So I'm not really surprised. Why would Shinigami, not part of the Division 11, have the title of Kenpachi? Yeah. Should we refer to other anime where characters are nerfed and maintain said title through the story? It's bad whenever he starts talking about Bleach. It just goes off the rails of logic into the world of delusion. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Some of this does feel kind of forced. If you simply read the series and take in the narrative, 90% of things in Bleach is explained within the series itself. The whole Rukia thing, the Kenpachi thing, the Toshido thing. Yeah, it's all explained within the series itself. Is it this hard to understand? Can he actively nurse himself to be around the same level with who he's fighting if they're weaker than him? Yeah. Apparently it is. That's how much it took for me to see the greatness of Bleach. Hilarious. That's why I stopped watching his streams. I like his One Piece, JJK, and Naruto content, but man, he just fumbles so bad with Bleach. It's tragic. It is kind of weird. It is kind of weird. I'm interested to see how he does One Piece versus. I'm interested to see how he does Bleach versus Naruto. I knew he didn't like enjoy Bleach. I didn't know he felt this way about it. I didn't know he thought there were so many inconsistencies, so many things wrong with the power scaling and stuff like that. I didn't know he felt this way. So I'm interested in seeing how he does Bleach versus Naruto. If he does tackle that. I just think Eon should stick to simple surface level anime like One Piece and Naruto. His brain not built for Bleach. The hamster in his skull gonna have a heat stroke. Eon got Mugetsu crashing out like shit. All caps. Let's keep going.
Even with a lure like Naruto. He has to literally grab, quite literally grab Haku when he's outside of the ice mirror and jumping back into another mirror. He has to grab him. Yeah, but Haku is not light speed outside of the mirrors. Bleach is just whoever has the most ego and aura. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm supposed to like this series, but like I said, there's no substance here, man. There just really isn't. There just really isn't. Chad is out here begging for help to become stronger because the one time he pulls up to finally be able to shoot like 5 or 6 El Directos, he's like just running out of power. This is a really cool panel. Like, listen, I will say this, and I've always said this, and I will always repeat myself. Kubo can draw a fit. Kubo can draw a character. The characters look sick. But come on. Am I really supposed to believe, like, okay, sure, this is like city level. I can 100% give this like city level from...
So it's funny because I did calc Eterard at city level, but are we just saying fire covers the city, therefore it's just funny. It's fine. I expect this.
Like a destructive range capacity, and if you need at the very least a certain amount of AP to reach a certain level of destructive capacity, I'm very much willing to give that. I will always grant that. At the very least, this guy is like city block to like small city level, whatever. That's all fine.
That's
but
hilarious.
How the fuck am I getting all these characters to like Universal Plus or whatever? Like, how the fuck am I doing that? Because it really doesn't seem like they're getting that much stronger from arc to arc. It really just doesn't seem like that.
So, city level, Fracciones city level. Then we have the 9th Espada, who would be at the very bare minimum 10 times stronger. Every Espada above him is 5 to 10 times strong. Well, can get 5 to 10 times stronger. At a certain point, like from Adenyeto to Xyloparu, Adenyeto, Xyloparu. No, is it Adenyeto, Xyloparu, Zamari. So starting with Zamari, that's already a 10 times bare minimum stronger than Adenyeto, because not only the numbers between them exist as a power indicator, but the actual Resurreccion multipliers exist between them as a power indicator. So the more we go down, we're getting 5 and 10 times, and then with Ulquiorra we have double that with 2 releases. On top of feats like the Lanza, on top of feats like Ichigo's hand crushing the Lanza, on top of feats like Aizen and Ichigo clash, on top of feats like Jackie Tristan destroying a column with air pressure, on top of feats like Kenpachi meteor feat, on top of feats like Zankano Tachi erasing everything it fucking touches within a certain distance, on top of speed feats like Ichibe, on top of conceptual manipulation, on top of identity manipulation, if that's a fucking thing. Might have made it up, but it's real now. Don't know. On top of the highest tier of soul manipulation, on top of Senjumaru Bankai. we haven't even talked about killing Yuha.
No, Haku is light speed when going between I'm not pulling up the panel. When going between the mirrors, guy. And also, Renji fucking sucks. I have yet to see this guy win a fight, like, wholeheartedly. This guy is losing is in Bankai. He is, like, is Renji's base just trash? Is Renji's base just fucking trash? Because this guy hasn't even transformed yet. Ikkaku Madarame seems like, it at least feels like to me, like Ikkaku Madarame base to base would absolutely thrash Renji. If Ikkaku were to fight Renji without releasing his Gente Kaijo, if he was able to beat this guy with Bankai without releasing it, then I'm out here believing that fucking Renji is fighting for his fucking life. Because this dude right here didn't even activate Resurreccion, and he's already pushing Renji past Bankai. These guys are fucking dog shit. I'm sorry. Toshiro Hitsugaya, he's a captain. He's a fucking captain, bro. I'm supposed to believe this guy is not getting absolutely dry. Oh, but Keon, they're just being
like the funny thing is it's the complete opposite with One Piece, because a lot of their villains will be trash. Like you take CP9, you got Chopper beating CP9 agents by himself. You got Usopp and Nami tricking and outmaneuvering and beating CP9 agents by themselves. So it's a really funny dichotomy when you look at it.
Sealed back by this power, bro. Like, okay. And yet they had to release this fucking seal to do it all, bro. I don't know, man. Must wear the restrict.
Where did you get 10 times from? If you're talking about the Espada question just now, well, wait, are you talking about the Espada question, or when I said Ichigo one-shotting Renji? Alright. Chill on Red, homie. He can't see the bottom of 2 foot deep pond. It ain't his fault. Some people just see surface. Let him have his opinions. The amount of stuff you'd have to ignore to say Bleach doesn't get strong from arc to arc doesn't it seem like it is insane. You know, that is an insane take. That's an insane take. That's an insane take. To say that, you would have to like go out your way to not acknowledge that the Espada ranking system exists. That's the most linear progression you're going to get, especially for Ichigo. They're literally ranked by spirit energy, by power. Each one gets 5 to 10 times stronger. Oh my gosh. Yeah, ranked by spirit energy, ranked by power. Each one gets 5 to 10 times stronger. I'm not too sure how one could make that argument. And if you're asking, so yeah, the 10 times for Adenyeto, at least for niggas at like Grimmjow's level, just comes from the fact that they're 3 numbers displaced from Adenyeto, bro. If you talk about the Renji thing, that's something that I'm working on personally. Where was I? I know, but that doesn't change the fact that you had a bad take. Red says, Mugetsu is big mad. Relax, fam. It ain't that deep. Like the 2 foot pond. Ooh, that was fire. Nice comeback. Mugetsu says, stated in an interview that there is an order of magnitude between the Espada numbers. Oh, was that stated in an interview? Wow, I did not know that. Yours truly says, Espada 4 base stronger than Grimmjow full power. So me and my twin brother had a conversation about that. We had a conversation about that. I'm not going to get into it now, but Grimmjow's Resurreccion might rival Ukiyota's base, if not be slightly weaker than it. But that's Grimmjow. See, and I've said this too. The closer you get to the stronger numbers, the gap becomes more and more filled. Like, for example, when Stark, Hollybell, and Badagon arrive in Fate Karakura Town, they were like, yo, which one's the strongest? They're like, I can't tell. They were all very close in power, being the bottom 3 Espada. That goes on to be even more prevalent with, the other ranks. Like, yes, Ukiyota's Seto from base to base can char Grimmjow's hand, but Grimmjow I guess I'm getting into it. Grimmjow in his Resurreccion should have been relative. See, but there's a lot of things to consider, because when he was fighting Ichigo with his Hollow Mask and Bankai, that was when Ichigo was on his level. But we all know a Konpaku that is close to death gets stronger, and then Ichigo just gets stronger over the course of his fights. When he gets fully healed, he's able to press Ulkiyota with his mask on in Bankai, which was the same form he fought Grimmjow in. He presses Ulkiyota so much that he actually cracks his sword. That's impressive. So yeah, I get what you're saying as far as that. As far as the 4 base Ulkiyota Grimmjow full power, yeah. You took a jab, you ain't slick. Hell yeah, I took a jab. I probably did. I don't know what I said, but I probably did take it. I ain't taking no jab. Oh, Mugetsu took a jab. People prefer media that is easier to read. Oh, understand. Nah, Red, he came to your defense. Mugetsu, it was from Kubo's Cloud Outside House. I don't remember seeing that one. Unc Red, don't be ungrateful to Mugetsu. Bleach isn't hard to understand. It's easy. People just don't give a fuck to try to understand it. Hell, I consume more Bleach content than you. You consume more Bleach content than who, Red? Now, I will say I do wish Kubo gave more showcases in power for the top 3 Espada, Stark, Badagon, Hollybell. I mean, here's the thing. Badagon had to literally be killed with his own power. Stark took on 4 captains and was absolutely fine until he had to take on Shinsui. Hollybell had to be beat by Aizen. I don't know what you guys want. Like, the 4 Espada were taken out in very BS means, if you look at it. Your experience with Bleach content is not the metric to which your opinion on Bleach weighs. Oof. Nice. Imagine being mad someone restricted to 20% of their power, even while using their trump card, needs to undo the restriction to win effortlessly. And that's the thing. Like, once they all got full power, they pretty much one-shot everyone they were fighting. The Espada Ab-Stract. When you said the 9th was 10 times stronger than some other Arankar. I think I got that from the fact that the Pre-Verona Espada exists, and they also have a Resurreccion. And so Aranyeto was stronger than the Pre-Verona Espada. At a bare minimum, he would be 10 times stronger than some Fracciones. Just based off that alone. Like, Gantenbein, Dordonian, Seruchi, Fandrovic. Yeah, they all exist. And they're stated to be the strongest things that aren't Espada, because they're the previous Espada. So everyone below them is actually weaker. And they have a 5 to 10 times amp. And the Pre-Verona Espada have a 5 to 10 times amp. And the Espada have a 5 to 10 times amp. Therefore, Aranyeto would be 10 times stronger than anyone that is not well, he should be 10 times stronger than anyone that's not a Pre-Verona Espada, at a bare minimum. Red. I've played Tekken games for 23 years. I've probably around 40,000 hours total in Tekken franchise throughout my life. I am by no means an authority on Tekken. Are you saying for 23 years you're a bozo on Tekken? Crazy level. Tekken is peak, except 7 and 8. Them games are buns. That's why they're the premier. That's why they are the premier Espada as a collection. It's like Shinsui Ukitake and Unohana, Ishin, Kisuke, and Yoruichi, Lily, Gerard, Askin, so on. Even Ginjo and Tsukishima were relative. We weren't quantifiable feats. We want quantifiable feats. I don't know if I have any quantifiable feats for that one, Karibo. That would literally just all be scaling. The thing is, we use feats and scaling. We know We know a Resurreccion is comparable to a Bankai. We know a Bankai makes you 5 to 10 times stronger, i.e., a pre-Verona Espada is 5 to 10 times. A pre-Verona Espada using their Resurreccion gets 5 to 10 times stronger, which is already outclassing a Fracciones. And then we have an Espada doing their Resurreccion, which is stronger than the pre-Verona Espada. I don't think it's a leap in logic to say they'd be at the bare minimum 10 times stronger, or 5 if you want to use the low ball. Ab-Stract, I'd like to remind you, Shunsui didn't explain his games to Stark, yet Stark still caught on about as fast as Lille did, and Shunsui actually explained the games to Lille. In the anime, he explains the games. I don't know about the manga. I haven't read that fight in a while in the manga, but if he doesn't, yeah, that's even more for Stark. Mugetsu, Red thinks he's better at Tekken than you. You gonna let that slide? Not Rev instigating. The only game Shunsui explained to Stark was Ada Oni. Gotcha. The worst of the top 3 is Badagon because in the anime they dragged out his fight with Omida and Soifun and then finally sped it up with the visor showing up. Yeah.
Up to 80%. Yeah, no. So you're telling me that you had to just become 5 times stronger than you're currently at to one-shot these dudes? I don't know, man. It feels like this is more than just 5 times, because the way that these guys were getting thrashed, it feels like the difference is way more than just 5 times. The card states the Prime Garp is close to the strength of Old Garp. And when did the Vivre card come out?
Yo. I can feel it in the air. I can feel it anymore. We back. Man, top 8 buns. You said for 23 years, you ain't all that. Get your weight up, G. That's crazy. Red talking that shit.
Year did it come out? Because I've mentioned this before. If a databook entry, like for example, if a databook entry, like a early Naruto databook or if a databook entry like an early databook for Naruto or an early Vivre card for Garp, if those things come out, let's say 5, 6, 7 years ago, prior to current manga statements, I am going to consider prime current manga statements. Yeah, please do. It's pretty recent. All right, if it's pretty recent, let me see it. What's the year though? Because if it came out before Oda made the statement, I'm really not going to consider it. I thought the seal was sealing like 70%. No, it's sealing like 80%, which means that it's at least a 5 times amp. That's at most a 5 times amp, I should say. But yeah. Nah, Bleach is pissing me off. I'm still going through it. I'm not going to make any content on it until I go through it. So the sound guy saying, where is he and Lee under him trying to give him an uppercut? Yeah, Lee perception blitzed them. That's completely fine. Lee can perception blitz them. All good. I'm still talking about how the primary Lotus still couldn't fucking land before a guy was able to use an attack at the speed of sound to cushion it. Okay. Okay. So this hero of the Marines, headquarters, who lives in the Marines, legendary Marine to retire, resuming justice, blah blah blah. He has been tirelessly working and training the young Marines while capturing the future. Stars El Mapo, the strength that once cornered is still alive and well. That doesn't mean he's close to his prime though. It's just saying that the strength that once cornered Roger. Yeah. Okay. Even today, he trains relentlessly and when he all right, I'll concede. He's close. He's at the very least. I'll at least concede that he's at the very least relative to his prime. I mean, he's fought Rogers for years. Cornering Rogers at the end of the day. Rogers also said we've nearly killed each other multiple times. That's fine. Also, is this the slash that is this like the slash that gave Grimjow that scar? By the way, I've been trying to figure out if that's the scar. I'm pretty sure that it is. Granted, why didn't Orihime just get rid of that scar when she regrows his arm? I don't know. Mind you, the characters themselves don't have the level of perception. Only Sasuke has the level to perceive Lee, but his reflexes are too slow. Because against Haku, Blitz Kakashi, who is relative to at least base Guy, Lee is slower than Guy and Kakashi, whom Naruto and Sasuke lost to. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm probably gonna leave it here. I was gonna try to read through some Boruto, but I'm probably gonna leave it here because I do have to head out. Let me back in the Discord, gang, and I need the power scaling my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm willing to let you back in, Reaper, but you gotta watch out with like some of the text, man. Can Luffy use tune?
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll give Eon a break. Second rewatch / reread of Bleach. I get it. Bro, please do more Q&A live. I got you. So here's the thing, Krishna Vista. We didn't even really get to the Q&A. Not really, but this was fun. The Q&A was supposed to be like Q&A Wednesday, where we go over some Kubo Club Outsides and answer and go over some of his questions that he's answered and stuff like that. But this was fun too. I don't mind this. We'll see if I can stream tomorrow. Evo is the world stage. 250% of the top Tekken players in the world attended Evo 2. By the way, when I say I've been playing Tekken, I know what Evo is, broski. But for nearly 3 decades, I ain't all that. If I'm a... yeah, hey, Mugetsu, you've been playing Tekken for 23 years, bro, and you ain't like top 5. Hang it up, G. Nah, let me stop. I thought we were just asking you questions. Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be too. It was supposed to be both of those things, but we didn't really hold him accountable. I can understand some things, but the stuff he was saying, he's being disingenuous or just plain ignorant to the context. I mean, I will say that, Kai, like I said, some of these takes are definitely out the wazoo, as some of my white counterparts would say. Some of these takes are kind of crazy, and some of these are disingenuous. Yeah, like I don't think you can put your dislike of the narrative and the story and everything else on the power scaling itself. And I think Rev said like he's not objectively looking at the series as a series. He's kind of like I don't know. He might have a chip on his shoulder for Bleach somewhere. That like he just doesn't like it for whatever reason, and that's fine. But pretty much every reason for why the power scaling was inconsistent was just wrong. Pretty much every reason. But yeah, Q&A Wednesdays. We'll do better with those. We're going to do Kubo Club Outside questions for Q&A Wednesday, and then direct questions for me, the host, Ab-Stract of the Ab-Stract section. Rev says same, laugh my ass off. Also, chill on my boy Eon. I get he's attacking y'all precious Kubo, but no need for the personal attacks. Yeah, no, definitely. Hey, yeah, no personal attacks, guys. Like I said, I do like him. Fan of his work. I like what he got going. All good stuff. All good stuff. These aren't his best takes. I will say these aren't his best takes. All right. Off the chain, as the OG says. At least got my New Age question answered early. Yeah. So I will, I'll read some New Age Exorcists this weekend. Oh, yeah, he said he's still at chapter 3. Correct. I still am at chapter 3. I may just start reading it. I haven't been able... Nice, Rev, yeah. I haven't been able to attend since 2014 because money being good at Tekken don't make... Because 14... because money... Oh, because of money. Okay. Being good at Tekken don't make money if you don't already got the bread to attend every event. Got you. Chapter 3 in Bleach, but he's complaining like he's in 1,000-Year Blood War. Ab-Stract, let's check out the comments tomorrow. Oh, yeah. You want to do the comments of the Tush? Yeah. So tomorrow, I think we can do Toshiro versus Kakashi. Well, no. Hey, Rev, give me like a week. Give me a week more on that video, and we will see. Because I want to wait just to see. Give me like a week more. Maybe like next week, and then we can go full force on that. My bad, one smart. He's in the early 200s of Bleach, Kai. He said it, and I said it earlier. Okay. If someone was in the early 200s, where would that be for Bleach? What are we looking at? Turn on your power. Lift the limit. Oh, so that pretty much is where he was looking. That's Katakura Town. Yeah, that's Katakura Town. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see what comes from the boy Eon. Currently, it's at like 65 comments. That Toshido video is at 65 comments? That's interesting. That's around when they invade Katakura Town. These ads, main. I know, bro. Oh, you know what? We were supposed to watch God of Thunder's Lightning. We were supposed to watch God of Lightning's Thunder's video. We might do some videos tomorrow. I think we wanted to watch his, Kyuubi Choke, Kyuubi Cloak versus Sage Mode. And then there's another video I want to watch too. But I gotta go to bed. I got work tomorrow. Ugh. So I'm gonna get out of here. You goofy goobers, take it easy. Looks like my phone can use my own Wi-Fi for about 40 minutes, almost an hour before crashes out. Yours truly, Highness, says you should watch Lord of Mystery. So I watched the first episode of Lord of Mystery. I thought it was really cool. I enjoyed it. I will continue to watch it. I do like it. Have a good one. Made it home now. Time for shower. No Diddy. Peace, y'all. Ronan, get your weight up. Hey, yo, how Red talking shit out the door. That's hilarious. Take it easy, Red. Always good having you stop by, bro. Appreciate you. Peace and chicken grease. That's weird, Kai. I don't like chicken grease. Nasty. But all right, y'all, take it easy.